Oh, it does. Hello. Hi, how's your night going? Welcome back to the broadcast. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I certainly did. If you want to see it here, I did the best thing you can do on Thanksgiving, and that is get your friends and family to pose for an ad for your company where you sell defunct corporate merch. I had so many hats, and I just passed them all out and made everyone pose for it. Even the child and the dog. Where's the hot dogs? I ate them all. You know what I'm saying? How would there be any hot dogs here? Because I gotta wolf them right up. Stupid ass, banned for life. How's everybody doing? Crane, you're not a first-time chatter. You're not a first-time chatter. First-time chatter here. What stocks do I buy to make guaranteed money? Thanks. What's funny is Slime sent me that message today. I'm not kidding. Essentially that. Slime said, hey, I have a fuck ton of money. What do I buy? I was like, bro, I'm not going to be your financial advisor. And I gave him all the different answers. Where's your sweater from? Your mother knitted it for me. We do not have any relations. She's just really nice. So tell her thank you. Atrioc, I'm ready for Astrobot finally today. I'm not playing Astrobot today. Don't try to pigeonhole me or shoehorn me or catalog me or railroad me, okay? Can't be. I'm like a Mustang on the wild plains of American Southwest. I cannot be tamed. What stock are you most thankful for, King? Yeah, that's what I did at Thanksgiving. I went around the table and made everyone say which corporation they're the most thankful for. Which corporate CEO are you? You know, is it Elon? Is it Zuckerberg? Who? What did you cook? I cooked up a really damn good speech. That's what I did. I cooked up a damn good speech. I cooked up the ability to get beers and drinks for everybody. But I didn't necessarily cook food. Well, people don't even remember the food on Thanksgiving, right? It's not even about food. No one even talks about the food or remembers it. What people remember is the guy that poured Coca-Cola into a glass with ice and handed it to you. Yeah, it's barely even mentioned. Didn't you do a whole tier list about food? You're living so far in the past. I'm living in the now, okay? I did, however, eat cookies that were so delicious. I'm not much of a chef. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'm not much of a chef. That might surprise you. I know a lot of you think of me as sort of like a great Gordon Ramsay type who's always chefing things up. But the cookies were so good that I got the recipe, and I'm going to try and make that my recipe. I phrased that wrong. That's like I'm stealing it. What I'm trying to say is I want to have one thing that I can cook really well. That's good. Really good. And I think these cookies will be it. I think I'm going to learn them down pat. And then whenever necessary, if I ever have to make something, I'll make these tasty fucking cookies. What they're called, I believe this is it. Chewy ginger molasses cookies. Okay, they look like this. They look exactly like this. God damn, dude. They're so soft. So soft, so good. They fucking pop. They taste amazing. They were truly top tier cookies. And so I'm going to be the GOAT of making these. That is my goal. And ideally I can bring them to like my family's because I haven't seen my family. It was all Ari's family for this Thanksgiving, which is still very nice, of course. And they're really my family now that I'm married in. But I want to see my family for holidays. AP Gamble, thank you for the 55 months. Long time. Appreciate it. Haley Bailey Daly says, I make the best. The thing is, Haley, is what I'm telling you is you're wrong. Not to disrespect you here, Haley, but I'm going to make the best Ginger Molasses cookies for real. For real, for real. You can be second place, but I am so laser focused on this goal that you're not going to be able to stop me. I'm headed for the top of the mountain. Oh, they make it best run right now? Well, all right, but give me a little time. What is this? Did you ever give thoughts on the Kendrick album? Listen, I like it, but I think this is maybe controversial today, but won't be controversial in 6 months. It is good, but Kendrick's bar is very high, but it is his worst album. That is my take that will be very, very agreed upon in 6 months, but will not be but will be controversial today from people who are very recency biased. But his other albums are superior. So from a purely Kendrick POV, it's a bit of a step down. Below Section 80 and Untitled. Section 80 is not an album. Untitled, I don't really count. But I also think Section 80 clears this album. Yes, that's correct. I hate recency. I wish everything was past or future. First of all, recency is past. Second of all, it doesn't make any sense. So it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know how to fucking bro spitting bars. What bars is he spitting? Yeah, bro wants to mention, bro, you're gonna be like the guy from Memento. Yo, Atrioc, my family celebrated Thanksgiving today because my mom had to work yesterday. That's cool. I mean, it sucks that she had to do that, but it's cool that you guys were able to accommodate and have a different day for celebration. It's not like Thanksgiving's not one of those things where it really needed to be on the Thursday. Honestly, Thanksgiving should have been on a Friday and everyone should get a 3-day weekend. That'd be the goated strategy. Like a lot of, like my brother and his fiance, or I guess girlfriend, maybe that hasn't proposed. They had to go back to work on Friday. People basically get 4 days. If you have a certain type of job, a lot of people don't, bro. A lot of people had a fucking 2-day. Are we going to be getting Get Smarter Saturday? Is today Saturday? It's Friday. We're going to get Smarter Saturday tomorrow on a Saturday. We had a lot of things to talk about, though. I have a presentation on a topic, and I got some other stuff, so it'll be good. Lots to talk about, but first I want to vibe about Thanksgiving. Worked retail 4 a.m. today? Sheesh, bro. Was it brutal? I know that we did a Black Friday sale for Enron hats, and I think we sold more today than we've sold almost the whole rest of the year. Can I check? Let's see. Go to fourth wall. So I assume... but that's also because we did no shipping cost. Still available maybe for an hour. If you're looking to pick it up, there's like an hour left of 0 shipping Black Friday. Damn, I almost said a... I'm just looking. I almost clicked the button that made it free. That would have lost a lot of money very quick. There's a button called Wang. W-A-N-G. Wang. I just made sure to disable it. All right. Anyway, well, what else? Oh, thank you for the gifted Palumon. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I much appreciated. Do you have a message? What was your message? Palumon. Sound like Ex-girlfriend just moved out today, '07. Oh, dude, on day after Thanksgiving? Well, ex-girlfriend. So that's tough. So you guys broke up but still had to live together? How long? Do you mind me asking? That's tough. Breaking up and then, I mean, you should consider this a W. I know it's not, doesn't feel like that right now, but living together after being broken up, that's terrible. That's a hell. Especially if I don't know what happened, bro. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna make some assumptions that I'm not gonna say anything. Here's what I'll say. If it wasn't mutual, then that is a really bad situation because the one person thinks that like by living near each other, it'll happen again. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like this constant pain of, you know, this will all work together. We'll all just come to our senses any day now. And then the other party's, you know, not feeling that way, and then it becomes more and more awful. Now he has to pay more rent? No, you can get a roommate. HR, I work in the marketing department. I told my boss to invest a whole budget into a guy outside spinning a big arrow. Am I screwed? I guess it depends on how big. Or do you work at like Apple? If you work at Apple and they invest like $300 million into the world's most flashy fucking arrow, then maybe you screwed them. You know, they have a lot to do. But if it's like a local business, that's probably all they should spend on. Is the guy good at spinning the arrow? These are all good questions. You know what I'm saying? This is all solvable. I mean, you could imagine. Here's the thing, is crazy stuff gets attention. So if you were Apple and you did cancel your whole marketing budget for the entire year and had the most insane arrow spinning show of all time, all filmed on iPhones, I mean, people would talk about it. The social media impressions could be crazy. But the problem is you said one guy, so I just don't know how good it could be. I'm thinking like 1,000 people all spinning at once on a show of lights, and there's like fireworks and drones, and the meta could be crazy. I think Adweek should sponsor a death match between sign spinning guys. 2 stores could do that. Imagine if you had like a, I don't know. What are 2 stores that are not not competitors that would be near each other? 2 stores that could Minecraft Implosion. Bro, you cannot just spam "I had an awful night to people really racist" over and over again and expect me to have an answer. I was sympathetic till you spammed it 4 times. Wait, what do you say? You can't spam it 4 fucking times. What do I help? You want me to go back and beat him up? I'm gonna fix racism? All right, it's fixed. Bam. That's crazy. It's crazy shadow behavior. Don't do that. I worked at the Amazon, the worst Amazon facility in NA, and the new vid. Oh, is it out? Wow, Adish works. Dude, the devil works fast, but Adish works faster. We just did that interview. Wait, what the hell? I turned into a pumpkin. Thank you for the 20 gifties. Thank you for the 20 gifties. That's fucking much appreciated. Your profile picture is a close-up of Matt Damon's face from the 90s. This is your profile picture? It's so funny because Ari and her family and I watched a Matt Damon movie from the 90s called The Rainmaker today. This is so weird. Like, I saw this face. Unless you are Matt Damon. In which case, Matt Damon, thank you for the 20. It would explain why you can afford 20 gifties. Atrioc, I vested 4 years at Spotify at a 300 strike. Okay, wait, you're just rich from Spotify. I'm looking at his chat history. He's just a rich Spotify employee. You're not Matt Damon at all. All right, let me get your question. Atrioc, I vested 4 years at Spotify at a 300 strike, and we're about to go to a 2-month blackout period for employees selling. Should I cash out now or risk waiting until February? You work there, bro. You work there. You tell me. Spotify stock. Is it a massive run-up recently? I mean, it is a pretty big run-up. That is a pretty fucking big run-up. I will say this. Don't ask me. Ask your own executives. That's fucking... Because apparently all your bosses are cashing out like crazy. It's a pretty big recent run-up, bro. I mean, I'd consider it. I would definitely consider it, yeah. Especially if it's life-changing money or money that you feel can help you get a house or something that would, like, help your life move forward. I wouldn't just try to sit there and run it up forever. But again, not financial advice. I don't know. Spotify go to the fucking moon and back. Thank you for the gifties, though. You know what you should do is you should invest in more gifties. Me and my racist friend had a great Minecraft game. Oh my God, it's all connected. It's all fucking connected. Hey, whoa, thank you for the gifties. I turned into a pumpkin. Spotify is eating good. What else can I say about that? Your question is interesting. Well, speaking of Daniel Ek. Oh, Daniel Ek is the CEO of Spotify. This guy, Hotshot GG, was a gamer who played Nidalee real good in League of Legends around 2012, 2013, 2011. This guy outbid Daniel Ek, your CEO, for a house in LA. And I've been to the house. It's damn nice. It's damn nice. And all this guy did was play Nidalee real good at the right time and then sell his logo, basically, to Madison Square Garden for an absurd price. One of the biggest finesses in esports history. And then he outbid Daniel Ek for a house. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Speaking of Daniel Ek selling, what was the logo? No, I mean, he sold a company, but, like, it turns out an esports team is a logo. Once you lose the players, nobody cares. Like, if you're a fan of Double Lift and he's not on CLG anymore, you're not. It's just you don't have anything. You have 5 computers in a team house. That's it. It's there's nothing. There's no special sauce. So yeah, they bought nothing. They bought this. They bought this logo for millions. Would you select T1 if Faker left? Well, that depends. Does Faker leave on bad terms, or does he go, I am retiring after a long lifetime of service. I've gotten 5 championships for this organization, and I've built a new squad, and I'm passing the torch. In that case, I would still love T1. If they kick him out unceremoniously, then I would not be a T1 fan. Hi, stream. Sorry I'm late. Okay, Chad, do you accept this apology? Because I'm a little pissed. I think we were all waiting for Zachary here, and it's like, what the fuck? We've been here for 20 minutes, and you're fucking late? This is absurd. This is, I mean, have some fucking decorum. Have some self-respect for your fellow chatters. Everyone was waiting for your hilarious messages to bounce off of. Fucking, Simon Nation here had a great back and forth he wanted to do with you. He had like a hilarious bit, and then he set it up and you weren't there. Being late is a sign of disrespect. Okay, I was going to ban you for being late, but then this guy said, hey, Atrioc, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you spike the turkey with Glizzy? And I am going to ban him. I'm not. That's not a joke. You are actually banned. Your name is John Glizzy Keynes. And I'm looking at your chat history, and you spam like TSMC potato chips. There's no help here. There's no helping this. And I'm sure right now you're working on a new account where it's like fucking Hayek Glizzy or some other economist or fucking. I get what you're doing, dude. Milton Glizman. It's not bad. It's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yo, Atrioc, thanks for the dope content. I'm excited for Get to Work. I usually don't play this game, but I want to support. Well, first of all, I appreciate that. Second of all, if you don't like the game, you know, if it's not your game for reality, don't worry about it. Well, actually, I want Isto to do well. I want Isto to do well, so check out the game. Yeah, 100%. I would love Isto. Isto put a lot of work into this, but for me, I got what I wanted already. I really wanted to learn. I think the game is fucking fun. I think it's going to be really fun for streamers, people like a challenge, people like Tony Hawk, people like Monkey Ball. I feel like those kind of games. Very excited to play it on Monday. After Marketing Monday. Hey, Truck, in your new videos, did you want to interview more peeps? How do we get into the pool? It's a good question. I don't know. Well, I'm going to do chatter interviews again. I'm going to do it in December. We're going to do chatter job interviews. We have so many more jobs, so many more crazy jobs to interview. We'll do that in December. So, if you join that day and join the Discord, you can jump in. Hey, Shrek, can you turn up your audio on VOD slightly? Because I keep getting woken up when I fall asleep, and YouTube auto plays a 3-hour conspiracy documentary that's slightly louder than you. How about instead of getting louder, I just make my videos longer? So what if I make a 6 or 7 hour video and then it never has a chance to autoplay the next thing? What if I make like a 38-hour video and then you leave it playing the whole time and I get ad rev? I mean, the greatest method to make money on YouTube right now is to find an old children's show or movie or whatever, and then read the Wikipedia summary of every episode over the course of 12 hours, and then upload that, and then people will just leave it on and watch it. And that just prints money. There's no real depth or skill to it, but people just love nostalgia, and they love slop they can put on in the background. And that stuff prints. I mean, that is the money printer. With an AI voice? Nah, I don't think people are ready for that yet, but maybe as they get better. They still need editing though? Yeah, it's it's slight, but it's there. They just cut out the ums and I'm sorry. Jeffrey Tempest asked if racism, this is auto-modded, I'll allow it, but Jeffrey Tempest, you opened your question by saying, if racism is the theme tonight, then I have a topic. It's a terrible start. Racism is not the theme tonight. You broke up with your girlfriend because she dropped the N-word. Crazy that we didn't get to the farting in front of each other phase before this milestone of trust happened. This is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. I mean, good reason to break up with her, but your whole second sentence is unnecessary. I don't need to know about whether or not you farted in front of each other. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the story. It's just not needed. You can just tell me about your ex-girlfriend's racism, I guess, and say how you heroically stood up for your principles and broke up with her. I think that's admirable. I think outing yourself as really concerned about fart smelling was unnecessary. That's the part that no one needed. Plot twist, she's black and she was just singing along to a song. It was totally fine. You're weird and a fart smeller. She broke up with you. Holy plot twist. Holy plot twist. Would you stop Shakespeare from telling a story? I thought not. Calm the heck down. First of all, right from my answer, I would stop Shakespeare from telling a story because I want to be the center of attention at all times. So if I'm in a room and Shakespeare starts talking, I know he's going to get all the attention. So I would cut him off. I would cut off and loudly tell a different story. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that reminds me of actually reminds me of something that I did. And I would try to, like, get everyone to look over there. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't want even a second of the spotlight to be on Shakespeare. Yo, Bill, shut the fuck up for me. Yo, Bill, verily shut the fuck up. Why don't we all doth not give a shit for you telling the same story 14 times? And that's not even really a story. I did do that. I'm old enough to have done it, and I did it. Atrioc, what is one country you've never been but would love to go soon besides China? What'd you say? If you know the answer, why'd you ask it? Why are you that fascinated by my second choice? Taiwan, if you count it as a separate country. Besides Taiwan? Oh, God. China, Taiwan. Where else would I like to go? Okay, here's the thing that's gonna... I don't know how to say this. I do know how to say this. All right, I've recently come into some money. When I was younger, I remember reading something. It might have been Jay-Z or something. And it was about vacationing in the Greek Isles. And I've always thought that was the epitome of like a cool rich person thing to do. So I've always wanted to do it. Now that I've got some money, I've always wanted to fucking go and do a vacation in the Greek Isles. So that's like up on my list. What's my fourth choice? I don't know. Brazil! I want to go to Brazil, baby! It's actually not that expensive. How far down the list is Canada? There's it's not on the list. It's not down the list. It's not on the list. I don't want to visit Canada. I can't even. I'm not kidding. I don't. I mean, there's people there. I'd like to see Isto. I'd like to see a Spectacor. But I really, there's nothing in Canada I really particularly would want to go see. Actually, I want to go to New Ho Kings or whatever, the place Kendrick shouted out in Toronto. I want to get some fried rice at New Ho Kings. Okay, that's about it. I can go to Canadian Costco. Canada's hiking, skiing, and fishing would be sick. I don't ski or fish. I'm going on a hike tomorrow with my old boss from Twitch. Should be fun. Anything you can do in Canada, you can just do in Alaska. No, you can't be free. You can't be free because anytime you try to have any fun in Canada, Justin Trudeau locks you up. Okay? He locks you up. Personally. On a moose. Have we talked about GNX yet? I talked about it. Bro, people just want, you know what? Okay, fine. Kendrick stands. By the way, I love Kendrick. I've been listening to Kendrick for fucking 18 years. Here's what I'll say. GNX is a masterpiece. Every single track on it is better than the last. Fuck Drake, just separately. Fuck Drake. Also, additionally, if you like GNX, you are a smarter music listener than those around you. Everyone else listens to music. You listen to music. You know what I'm saying? You understand it on a deeper level. That's why if you like GNX, you are great. Okay, there you go. that's what you want to hear. But I'll tell you the truth is that it's his weakest album. It's his weakest album. All right, it's still a good album. There's some tracks on it I will keep bumping forever. I've already put into my all-time lists, but it's his weakest album. It's better than Damn? What the fuck are you talking about? It's better than Damn. What the fuck are you talking about? It's better than Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. It's bait. That's bait. That's so bait, dude. It's as absurd. It's above Section 80. There's not doubt in my mind that you're wrong, but it's an opinion. Who cares, dude? Here's what you do. If you like the album, all you have to do is scour the internet till you find a music reviewer that agrees with you. That's the smart one. Okay? If Fantano liked it more, then go say that. You know what? Fantano gets it. He understands. Okay? And if he ever disagrees, then he's an idiot. If he doesn't all be like it's bad, then he's a fucking idiot. But until then, he's great. Section 80 has a lot of skips. So does this one, dude. Section 80's peaks are higher. Just type in the search bar what you want to hear that'll appear for you. It's like magic. Bro, it's you know how I've been thinking about this because of Blue Sky. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, around the 80s. When was the... Yeah, 60s, 70s, 80s, okay? There was 3-4 major news networks, and they were all required by law under a rule called the Fairness Doctrine to present both sides as best they could of every story. And then in 1987, under pressure from Roger Ailes, who would help start Fox News, they repealed the Fairness Doctrine. And at that point, the most profitable strategy was to focus your opinion news towards one side. And that way you get everyone that wants that opinion to just watch your shit, because they don't want to hear the other side. Nobody does. Human nature. And so we get, the splitting off of MSNBC and Fox News and people sort of going into bubbles. And the sort of counter to that was the internet, where we were all on the same platforms. However, the rise of algorithms and now separate platforms by political preference, Blue Sky and Twitter, are going to do this. We're doing the same thing as cable. We're going through the same process as cable, where everyone's going to end up siphoning off into their own, like as I scroll Twitter, I see the most fucking MAGA shit. And when I scroll Blue Sky, I see the most like opposite. It's the exact same. There's no nuance. It's two echo chambers. And everyone is looking for that. And what's crazy is even on the platforms where we're all ostensibly on the same page, let's say like TikTok, right? Everyone's on TikTok. Your algorithm only feeds you the stuff that you agree with. First of all, that it knows you agree with. And then secondly, if it feeds you a video that could be taken two ways, if you open the comments, it only shows you the comments that already agree with you. The top comments for a video are different for different people. Like literally, they prove this. So like, it was a girl and her boyfriend, and they got the same video, and they were looking at it on their apps. And one guy was getting like, it was a video of two people arguing, and the guy opened the comments, and it was all like, dude, the dude is so based. Chick is a fucking idiot. And then the girl's comments were all like, the guy's such an asshole. Like, she deserves better or whatever. They're both opening it, and it's the top comments, not like they're scrolling. The top comments are selling them what they already want to hear. So it's we're all echo chambered. We're all deeply. Instagram does the same thing. Exactly. Instagram does the same thing. So we're all getting echo chambered. We're all getting convinced that we're right about everything. And I'll be the one to tell you, you're not. I'll be the one fucking stream to tell you, bro. Mm. Uh, Isn't that bad for engagement? No, 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 no. No, here, I'll tell you as someone who makes YouTube videos, it's actually very simple. You want the content to be enraging, but you want the comments to be soothing. The comments need to reinforce that the viewer is right, that they're outraged by whatever the content is, but that they are part of the right side of history, that everyone agrees with them. That is what they want. That's what the user wants is like something controversial in the video, a fight or an argument or you know, or someone getting arrested or something that like is dramatic or inflammatory, and then they want the comments to agree with them and tell them that they're correct. Is that why your comments love hot dogs so much? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense in the context of me and glizzies and whatever the meme is. It doesn't make sense because it does. If I'm the one that is the Glizzmeister or whatever, then it wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense because all my comments are my viewers. The ones make fun of me, so it doesn't. It's completely nonsensical. Hey, Glizzy, first-time viewer, long-time chatter. Doesn't make any sense. I want to know your thoughts on whether or not shorting the North Pole would be a financially sound decision, given that all the skibbity kids would much rather an iPad than any toy Santa's elves could cook up. It's got me thinking that old Saint Nick might be in trouble come December. Let me give this an honest run. The North Pole is not a publicly traded company. So Santa does not need to go to public capital markets to raise money to purchase factories and supplies or stock buybacks or whatever. It's a privately owned company that he's run for thousands of years up in the North Pole. So first of all, you can't short it. That's just not possible. Secondly, the assumption is that Santa can create iPads. That Santa has at least a subcontracted factory in Shenzhen that can make iPads because many kids receive iPads from Santa. So I assume he's adapted to the modern age and has figured out suppliers in China that allow him to create. You still think iPads are made in China? They are. Plenty of iPads are made in China. Some are in India now, but they haven't moved the whole supply chain out. Is it racist to call people in Shenzhen elves? A simple question with a simple answer. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked before doing that. Yeah, of course. That would be racist to do. Yeah, I was easy to help you. Easy to help you on that one. HR, I live in Louisiana. We just passed a pretty big tax reform that flattens. I'm going to skip ahead here. It seemed. Okay, wait. Flattens the income tax rate to 3% for everyone, but increases sales tax to 5% whilst taxing things that were not being taxed. It's just some all insurance and significant. It seems poorly thought out. I'm going to tell you, it's not a shocker to me that Louisiana tax policy would be poorly thought out. I also want you to know that if they lower income tax but raise sales tax, they're just taxing the poor. That is just a tax on the poor. The poor spend most of their income on consumption because they have to spend all their money to buy things to live. And the rich can hoard their money in assets. And so income tax, if anything, a wealth tax is what we'd like to get closer towards. But at the very least, income tax hits higher incomes. You could also try not being poor. But also, if you're not poor, why stay in Louisiana? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Thoughts on Huey Long? Good food? I agree. I agree. I actually had a good experience in New Orleans. And my boss at NVIDIA, that dude, extremely well-paid Northern Californian, he would get a far-off look in his eyes when talking about Louisiana and wishes desperately every day he could go back. My old boss would talk about Louisiana like it was the fucking promised land. But I think it's just that he missed his youth. You know what I'm saying? Because when he was young, he went to school there. He went to college. He went to like Tulane or something. And he had an amazing time. And now he's just a guy with wife, kids, family, working an office job. Even though it's incredibly well paid, he just missed it. I think he missed the I'm sorry, there's a war on Christmas? God damn it. God damn it. There's a war on Christmas? Do you say happy holidays? No, I'm different. I say no, Isto, we're business partners. Isto, we're business partners. We signed contracts together. You can't do this. You can't come in here and this is not conducive to our professional relationship for you to do this. I say crinky crunchmas, okay? I'll have you know I've never made a glizzy joke. I get one pass. It's Thanksgiving. Bro used his one pass on that? I said I don't say happy holidays. I say, and then he jumped in with his one time for glizzy, glizzy, glizzy. That's your lifetime glizzy joke? That's crazy. That's not base. That's crazy. A joke well used, I guess. It would be interesting if Trump tariffed the North Pole. You know what I'm saying? If he put some import duties on said duty, by the way. Import duties on Santa. That would be interesting. It would be problematic. Although if here's a question. Do you guys think Santa is infinitely wealthy? Like, could he just pay all the tariffs and thereby give every country free money? He's a slave owner. Okay, he's his Klarna. Bro, did you see this? Did you see this? Speaking of Santa using Klarna. Gen Z is drowning in debt as buy now, pay later services skyrocket. They're continuing to bury their heads in the sand and spend. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Buy, buy, buy. And you know what's awesome is that this gets worse around the holidays. That's so sick that so many Gen Z are going to spend so much money this holidays they don't have and then have to deal with the bills come January. And they're literally just not thinking about it. It's just not something they're going to consider. They just won't pay, Ninehead. Let's take a look. More shoppers than ever are on track to use buy now, pay later plans this holiday season, as the ability to spread out payments looks attractive at a time when Americans are still feeling the lingering effect of inflation and already have record high credit card debt. Well, that's good. Because if you have a really high credit card debt, just put the credit card, attach it to the Klarna, And then you get a whole new line of credit to buy more things. And if you have Klarna payments you can't make, put them on your credit card. And if you have credit card payments you can't make, put them on your Klarna. You know what I'm saying? It works forever. It's a cycle that can't. Why is Sonic a related video? Shoppers will spend 11.4% more this holiday season using buy now, pay later than they did a year ago. It was already so high a year ago. $18.5 billion worth of goods using third-party services. The thing is, the reason they're so popular is not just because people want them, but because now companies are pushing them. Like, if you go shopping, they want you to use Afterpay. They want you to use Klarna because it turns out you spend more. They know that you spend more. So if they make it available, if they push it, you are more likely to buy that thing you were going to put back. You're going to spend more because you can just put it on 4 easy payments. And so the companies are pushing it, like the retailers. They didn't see the benefit till now. Now they know how fucking important it is. I went to buy a Porsche the other day and they did not let me pay up front. I was so mad. Okay, first of all, if you're going to try and buy a Porsche up front, you need to gift some subs. Okay? We have a tax on the wealthy in this chat, okay? If you are ready to fucking buy a Porsche cash from the dealership, I just feel like we're not. Secondly, it's a wealth tax, all right? It's progressive. Secondly, the reason they do that is because they make all the money on the financing. It was the same thing for me. I didn't buy a fucking Porsche, but I tried to buy a Honda Fit, and it was less expensive. I mean, it was a better deal for the car if I took out a loan because they make the money on the financing. They count on you paying the interest slowly over time. The trick is to finance it and then pay it all back immediately. But some of them now have clauses that stop that. They know that trick. And it's like you can't pay it off early. It's fucked up. But the trick is to get the financing, then pay it off early. That's the best deal for you. But they've planned for that. So it's a real cat and mouse game, a real fucking back and forth. My friend's getting a PhD in economics. He says buy now, pay later offers liquidity to poor consumers, which has social benefits which offset the negative debt cycle. I think your friend sounds like a PhD economist. Wrong. Consistently, reliably wrong. Almost trained to be wrong. That's my opinion. I think trapping the poor in a debt cycle is proven time and time again to end up bad. But I'm sure someone will pay him to say that because it's what they want to hear. Did you see the Connery's Pants Fortnite Friday? I did not, unfortunately. I usually wait for the clips. I usually wait for the Fortnite Friday clips. And I heard this one's another banger, so I'll definitely have to check it out. If we get a massive debt, they won't be able to take it from us. Dude, so many people think like this. I'm not saying there's not some world where that's true, but some people are like, I don't know, like, I'm not paying my student loans. Who's with me? And then, like, some people don't pay, but a lot of people do, and you end up having to pay. You know? People always do this, like, yeah, I took out a lot of debt. I'm not going to pay it. Who's with me? And they just don't get enough people. It's not then you have to pay, and you get the consequences. It doesn't. You just don't have enough. Hey, thank you for the 38 months, Just Jazz. Hey, Big A, how does sponsorship pricing handle things like indirect sales? Today I bought some Huel in a store, which I'd never done without your ads, but the sale doesn't directly trace back to you. Yeah, they don't do anything about that. I received no credit and no money and no nothing. Use code Atrioc next time, motherfucker. No, this is there's this thing in marketing. This is actually really common arguments in my experience in working in the job. There's a thing in marketing called last click attribution. And basically it says like, hey, imagine you see a billboard, a funny billboard for a book. For a book, okay? You see a billboard for a book. Then later on, you see a YouTuber talk about the book. You're like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then later on, you read a review of the book and it looks really good. And then later on, you get a pop-up ad for the book. And you're like, well, I wanted to buy it anyway. You click the pop-up ad and you buy the book. Internally, the guy that spent money on the podcast ad or the YouTuber or the billboard has no clicks, no attribution, and the guy that did the stupid pop-up ad gets all the credit. The pop-up ad guy who did the worst part that never would have worked otherwise gets all the credit. It's the last click because we can't trace it. Marketing is very difficult time tracing the customer journey that gets them to actually think about it enough to buy it. And all the best marketing stuff is the stuff that's hardest to measure. It's the stuff where you can't, it simmers in their brain a bit and then they're more positive when they actually do buy it. So it's tough. It's tough. But just know that you make marketers' lives a living hell. I guess that makes you happy. Yeah, the other solution is that everyone puts a chip in their brain so we can follow every step of the customer's journey. That'd be awesome. That'd be the dream. Yeah, I think everyone should have like a scanner in their eye that can see everything they see, and then marketers can know every single detail of your life at all times. Ramen, they give the 9 months. That's exactly what happened to me with the wager. I saw you talk about it, then saw another thing about it, then saw an ad somewhere about it. Yeah, exactly. It's very, very common, and it leads to marketing departments often overspending on the wrong things. Like they might do a fucking killer TV commercial or something, and then they end up noticing that like more people are clicking on their fucking Facebook display ad, and so they're like, "Whoa, that worked," and then they double down on that and cut the TV ad. Whatever. Like whatever broad thing worked, they cut that and focus on the last click stuff that doesn't work and then they wonder what happened. It's a real consistent problem, and you have to constantly make the case for bigger stuff, and you have to constantly try to find a way to draw a connection. Attribution, like if you're a marketer who can show attribution for your projects, you can make a lot of money. You will rise the ranks quickly. Yeah. It is a great way to get into the bigger meetings. Damn. I'm fucking coughing. Hey, big guy, I'm about to go back to school. After a decade away, I plan on getting an MBA after finished years at undergrad. The next 2 years are a good time to be in school. Your question is if the next few years are a good time to be in school. I don't know. My only thing I say about MBAs is they're expensive. So, make sure it's what you want to do. Because every time there is any sort of downturn, everybody tries to get an MBA at the same time to like ride out the market. And then you end up with a bunch of MBAs graduating at the same time. This happened many times in history. So just be careful. Make sure it's like something you want to do. Wait, I got an idea. How about instead of doing an MBA, which is a Master's in Business Administration, why don't you join the NBA and like dunk on LeBron James? There's actually a lot more money in that, generally. I would consider that. I would consider Hey, Chuck, what do you think is a good way to get into the esports business? Um, I guess it would be to separate the words esports and business and recognize that there is no real business of esports. And then to turn around and run. That's what I would that would be my first advice. Um no, I mean, if you truly are passionate about it, you're gonna have to do some volunteer shit or find a way to, I don't know. Doing it right now sounds crazy. It's such a terrible time, so I don't know. Um, it's definitely a step back period. Hey, thanks for the raid, much appreciated. Um, yeah, why don't you just become Cadril? Why don't you just start casting for a very popular video game and then become the face of that esport and get hundreds of thousands of viewers consistently? Um, I used to know a lot of people who worked in esports. None of them work in esports now. Yeah, I mean, me too. So many people I know that worked in esports are now out of it. It's a terrible industry. Just being real, it's a brutal industry that takes all your love for the scene and squashes it out of you and makes you have to switch jobs constantly and makes your paycheck insecure. And it's from the screen to the ring to the pen, I'm the king. That's my raid song. I just wrote it. It's called Thick of It. And I just invented it. Holy bars. um, Hi, Atrioc. As a Canadian, should I be scared? Is your name Justin Trudeau? Because if so, I would say you should probably think about a backup career. If you're Justin Trudeau, I think you should probably like start looking at other, more like Justin Trudeau. Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, isn't Canada just like, you watch hockey, you ride a moose to school, and you love Tim Hortons. Your life will be fine. By the way, I'm sorry. You're not like scared of never owning a home, right? Because in that case, if that's one of your crazy fears, then possibly you could have something to be afraid of. But outside of that, I mean, it's still it's a very nice country. Currently in law school, any thoughts on legal profession? Bro, you tell me. I would love to interview someone currently in law school because my brain would tell me that someone currently in law school is like the Hunger Games of Chat GPT. My assumption is that every law school student is finding ever more innovative ways to use Chat GPT to do everything, to cheat, learn, study, write, think, and all early law school graduates that happen to actually get jobs are bringing that into the workforce and giving themselves an advantage, but also simultaneously replacing their jobs. That's what I think. I think law school is crazy. I think it's a lot of people competing for fewer open slots at entry level. Um, mm, 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 mm. Dun, 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 dun. I saw you talk about how price caps create black markets. Was wondering if you think the same thing would happen with price caps on college. Really want to know. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There would be. I mean, this already exists. With inflated costs, this already exists. Where people bribe school officials, um, and other unseemly ways to get into schools they can't get into. I mean, the woman got arrested for it. Um, Anything that's scarce, it's capped. Um, they'll find a way to use their money as an advantage. The actors sending their kids to school. Yeah, exactly. Price caps would do that as well. The thing that schools have a monopoly on is the certification. You really have to introduce some low cost alternatives to that as competition to drive the price down. Well, also, and stop subsidizing it with infinite loans. If people couldn't get access to these loans, the prices would naturally go down. The prices can go up uncapped because the real key of the real flaw of the student system is that you can get infinite student loans when you're dumb and young. And so if they charge $60K, you go, well, that sounds fine. That's how much it costs. And you get the loan and you buy it. And if they make it $70K, you go, well, that sounds fine. I'm dumb and young. I'll buy it. If they charge $80K, $90K, they keep raising the price and people never say this is enough because they always think it's a loan. I get it and it's worth it. So if they didn't have access to credit and they had to spend with the money they had, there wouldn't even be enough students to fill the place. They'd have to fucking lower the prices. They would have to drive it down. But because there's no cap, because anyone can get any amount of credit on student loans, it creates the prices have risen much faster than the quality of the school or the ability to pay. Or you could just cap college admission costs. Yeah, what I'm saying is that'll create a black market. What if we made college illegal? China did this. Not college illegal, but China noticed that rich parents were spending so much fucking money on college prep and tutors and like after school tutoring and like special classes that regular people couldn't afford. And so they just banned all those companies outright. They banned like private tutors and everything, which of course just made it a black market thing. It's not giga chat. It didn't work. Obviously it didn't work. But all it did was just wipe a bunch of companies out instantly, which spooked a lot of people from investing in China because it's like, wait, they can just destroy a company overnight. And then the rich people just went underground with it. Now it's just a black market for the super wealthy. Why wouldn't you want tutors? Because it creates a gap between rich and poor is the idea. A poor kid cannot afford a tutor, a rich kid can. And rich kids were doing round-the-clock cram school and extra stuff to get ready for college that poor people couldn't afford. So they tried to ban those things, but it's fixing it's like it's attacking the symptom and not the disease. The giant wealth gap wanting to get an advantage is the problem. So, why would someone accept a degree from Black Market College TM? You are thinking, when I say black market for colleges, you think there's going to be a secret underground black market college teaching you in secret? The black market is for the admission. It's where there's a limited number of slots and everybody wants those slots because the price is capped. So what they do, instead of raising the prices because they can't, is they have secret roundabout ways where you can bribe people to get a slot. That's the black market. It's the black market for the slot. It's not for it's not for a secret fucking school. That would be way cooler. I do agree that would be way cooler. Doesn't limiting loans disincentivize lower class students from enrolling? That's a self-perpetuating system of poverty. I mean, this is the good intention that the loans were created to solve. But I think they made the problem worse. You know, if you go back to like the 60s, 70s, people could afford a semester of college on nothing, on like a restaurant job. You know, it's tough, but it's not. They were just way, 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 way cheaper. And the idea was, well, we're going to make sure so everyone has a chance. And so they made loans just infinite to get. There was no worry about credit history or what money you have to pay. And that traps people into all this debt they shouldn't be taking on that young for degrees that are less and less valuable. I think it was a good intention, like what you're saying. I think it doesn't solve the problem. Yeah. And, you know, if the loans weren't guaranteed by the government, then at the very least, if people like took out a degree and couldn't pay it back, then the bank would lose money. And they'd be like, fuck, I shouldn't have given him that loan. And they'd be more careful about it. But because the government guarantees the loans, the bank doesn't have to worry. Everyone just gives you loans no matter what, even if you can't pay it back, which creates this ever rising prices. It's just, it's not. What do you think about Hauser's law, which says tax revenue as a percentage of GDP? What do you think about Hauser's law, which says the tax rate on the rich doesn't change tax revenue as a percentage of GDP? This law is about how if you raise tax rates above a certain level, rich people will find more and more loopholes to get around it, and usually they don't pay more than a certain amount. I will say this. If you look into studies, discussion, anything about taxing the rich, you will find a lot of well-funded think tanks that will come up with all these reasons why it doesn't work. There are many well-funded, you know, good educational background things that'll tell you why you should never, ever consider taxing the very wealthy. There's no reason to do it. It's that, and so I want you to take with a grain of salt a lot of these so-called rules. There's not people who are financially incentivized to tell you that it does work. It actually did work in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Thank you for the 47 months. Dude, I got to add the new badges. Why don't the poor students just make a unicorn startup and sell it to Google? It's a great question. I often wonder why those in poverty simply don't, like, just, you know, stop being poor. Why don't they simply stream? Why don't they simply, like, react to TikToks? It prints money. I guess I don't understand. Is it because it's too hard? That's what it is. It's too difficult. Yeah, it's the hardest job. Yeah, asked and answered. Thank you. I figured that was the case, but you guys confirmed it, and I appreciate you saying that. It is the world's hardest job. Yeah, probably scared of it. Hey, sure. Why haven't you responded to my Blue Sky post? I actually responded to like every Blue Sky post. I'm trying to use Blue Sky, you know? I followed a bunch of finance accounts and a bunch of MBA accounts, and I'm trying to use it and like just be on there as a good time. New social medias are generally fun in general. The vibes are always good till they start trying to make money. I want to like it so bad, but it's Facebook built. Oh yeah, a lot of it's terrible. A lot of it's real. It's very, you know what it reminds me of? It is like the human embodiment of of this. It's just like very like 2016 Hamilton watching. Yeah. Ruth Conda Forever. It's very that, but the user base keeps growing, and I've seen some interesting stuff. I saw some good NBA stuff. I saw some good finance stuff, and I figure, you know, it makes me. It's very snappy to use. The platform is real nice. The DMs are nice. Everything's clean. There's not bots. There's not crypto bots. There's not porn bots. There's not OnlyFans bots. You know, a lot of that's very nice. Like it's clearly just a better experience. So I'm leaning into it until if it goes off the rails and dies. But I'm willing to push past the cringe of this. I see cringe on both platforms. You know, I could just. I'm giving both of them a try right now, but I'm coming around on Blue Sky. Speaking of taxing the rich, how's the situation in China where they set the rich people on notice to double check their taxes? Yeah. In case you are out of the loop here, on the last Marketing Monday, I talked about how China, local governments in China, think the Alabama or the Florida or the New York of China, Chinese states, you know, they're out of money. They're dead broke. Chinese government, not nearly as in debt as America, but Chinese states, very in debt. And they made all their money from real estate, lending the land. And now real estate's kind of popped, so they can't do that. So they're dead broke. And they spend a lot of money on big construction projects. So they are resorting to two things. One is like fining local manufacturers for random shit just to start picking up money. And then number two is like, hey, rich people, pay the fuck up. And so they're like telling all the rich people to go double check their taxes for the last 10 years because they're going to be rechecking them themselves. And obviously a lot of rich people in China are panicking. So they're getting tax lawyers and things to try and get money out of the country or hide it in some way or just admit to the taxes and pay them. But it's causing a lot of consternation. You know, rich people don't like being taxed in general, let alone on stuff that happened 5 years ago. Fining without reason or like someone, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say with 0% reason, but it's like random fines. You know, it's like, oh, here's the thing we haven't enforced in 2 years. Now we're enforcing it with a big fine. You know, it's like like flexing to get some money. On factories. I do land tax for the Australian government, and the amount of Chinese landholders is nutty. Yeah. A ton of rich Chinese have parked their money overseas in Canadian, Australian, American real estate because they want to get it out of the country. But what's funny is Chinese authorities are saying, hey, if you have any profit on those real estate, you still owe taxes on it. Like any money you made on foreign real estate, we want our cut. We want our taxes. And so now they're freaking out. It's causing Chinese tax lawyers getting paid big. You see Tim Walz's Thanksgiving tweet? I didn't, but I did see this tweet. I saw the winning VP's tweet, okay? And it's a powerful statement pro-trans rights. People said J.D. Vance had backwards ideals. I say no. I say J.D. Vance is a hero. For his tweet, this is an actual tweet from J.D. Vance, depicting himself as the trad wife, you know, bowing in front of Trump, serving up America on a platter. It's so crazy he tweeted this. He wants to fuck him. He wants to fuck him. Anyway, that's my VP. He's a bottom, dude. He wants to be the couch. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's so funny he tweeted this. No notes. She, her. Why Vance kinda. You know what I'm saying? Why Vance kinda. Pause. What's her at? What was Tim Walls's? What was Walls's tweet? Charismatic Turkey fails to win pardon from Governor Walls. That's crazy. Your days are numbered, my friend. He's laughing like the fucking Joker as what the fuck? Aren't you supposed to pardon a turkey? He's the only one that just didn't pardon him? That's funny. The parties have flipped. That's so funny. They've flipped. These tweets at least are flipped for the VP. No victory, no pardon. I see he's taking it out. He's not known for mercy. And this, when you see a grandma breaking COVID lockdown, implying that Governor Tim Walz hunts grandmothers who didn't wear their mask during COVID and would shoot them dead in the streets. He did do that, obviously, but not such a bad thing, you know. It was kind of like the purge out there, but for people who didn't stand 6 feet apart in line. Best VP since Dick Cheney. Bro, it's so funny. You guys are younger. I feel like you don't truly know the funny Bush-Cheney era. But Dick Cheney is a VP who shot a man in the face, didn't apologize, and had the man apologize to him on TV. Yeah, Dick Cheney had 5 heart attacks. I believe one of which was with someone else's heart. 4 heart attacks, got a new heart, then had a 5th heart attack. You got to break it in. you got to break it in. That's true. You gotta break it in. He has to keep replacing him. Yeah, I mean, Dick Cheney's a character. Dick Cheney's a character. George Bush a character. That's a wild presidency. But he hit that drive, so I can't be mad at him. Can't be mad at him. He threw that pitch. Yeah, he threw that pitch. He's a character. You know, it's what's interesting is that yeah, you know, it's pretty well established that you know, after 9/11, the war to get Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan at least had a through line. But going into Iraq made no real sense. There was no real connection from Iraq to to 9/11, and they made up this whole weapons of mass destruction thing to try and shoehorn the war in Iraq and get it going. And there was no weapons of mass destruction there, and they did it. And the ostensible cry was to get oil. The idea was that, we'll secure Iraqi oil fields and give them to American companies, and it'll be beneficial for America, even if morally bankrupt. But what's so funny is you flash forward, and America spends $1 trillion plus, trillions of dollars, on this useless, futile, amoral, terrible war in Iraq for no purpose. And then we don't even get the oil. The Iraqi oil fields are owned by the Iraqi government, China, and Europe. Do you know what I'm saying? It's actually just one of the most bungled just wasted. I mean, it was only good to give government money to military contractors like Halliburton. It was one of the greatest self-owns in American history, and it caused so much long-term pain. Worth it for that? I guess it's worth it. It's worth it to give somebody at, Halliburton or Raytheon or Northrop Grumman an extra fucking yacht. It is worth it for that. My dad got paid? Well, my dad was in the military, so he got paid his salary as an airman. He wasn't at the time at Raytheon, so he didn't get any. Yeah, I guess he got something. Though my dad went to Kuwait, and my dad he was in Operation Desert Storm, and he was stationed in Germany. He was stationed in Korea. He was stationed in Japan. He was stationed in Mexico City. He was stationed in all these places, but he never, I don't think he ever went to Iraq or Afghanistan. What's his body count? Flirt. I don't know the answer to either question. Actually, my dad has never killed anybody. Okay, my dad is Air Force behind a desk kind of guy. Chair Force, baby. And when he flew, or he was part of a flight team in Germany, it was for the radar and refueling planes. So he's if taxing the rich worked in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, why did tax as a percentage of GDP stay about the same? Mythic Spirit, I don't have like a chart answer to your question. All I can tell you is that I'm suspect of the studies you're citing and how they collect the data. For example, you can find out that. Here's an example. If you were a highly paid CEO in 50s, 60s, and 70s, they might try to get around high taxes by giving you some of your payments in not salary. So they might give you some of your payments in like a company car or access to a company jet or something. But then once they repealed that in the Reagan era and made taxes low, suddenly CEO pay ballooned, absolutely ballooned. And I think it was much higher than what they would have gotten with a company car or access. CEO pay went from, 10 times the median worker to 300 times. So I just find the arguments that like, hey, it's all the same to be a little suspect. Also, I mean, this is just agreed upon by all data sources. The middle class was much stronger, much larger percentage of the national wealth in the 50s, 60s, and 70s when we had high taxes on the wealthy. So again, it all seems very hand wavy to be like, it didn't have any effect. It didn't do anything. They just found ways around it. I strongly believe that what Reagan did by rolling back all of the post-war tax system is make it a lot easier for rich people to get a lot wealthier. And again, once your income is taxed less, you have more income left over. And if you're rich, you have a lot more left over because you only need a little bit to spend on your actual life. And that money goes into buying assets, which produce more income. And it's like it's like if someone has to play cookie clicker, but they can only click, and someone gets to play cookie clicker, but they get to use all the upgrades that get you more cookies. Eventually, it snowballs. Eventually, you can, no matter how fast you click, you're okay. And the only drag on that, the only way that slows that down to help give it more of a fighting chance, is high taxes on income for the wealthy. It makes it more likely that if they invest in something that's wrong, they'll lose. I need this in balloons terms. You figure it out. I don't know. Feed it in ChatGPT. Ask it. Thank you for the 17 months, Aggro Joe. Doesn't it feel like the middle class is a unique anomaly of our times? I think that's a funny way to think. It's like saying, hey, we had this period in the country we live in where we had a strong, growing middle class. The government and the economy generally worked for most people. But that was probably an anomaly. Let's never try to get back there ever again. I don't know. Even if you're right, isn't that a crazy way to think? It's like, well, we can't do that again. That was probably a fluke. It's like, all right, we should try. We should at least try. I tested positive with COVID yesterday. What's this? I thought we were done with this shit. You think we can get a COVID round 2 rumble? At no point have we been done with COVID. It's like not gone. I think the peak was late 2023 actually, right? Wasn't it? Like it came back again and was even spiking higher. It's kind of a forever. It's a forever disease. It feels like because they keep getting variants so much. But it's also fake, right? It doesn't exist, and it's a liberal hoax. So just to be like, on one hand, it's like a problem that'll be with us for a long time, and we have to learn to deal with it. On the other hand, it's 100% fake, and I don't need to hear or talk about it ever again. It's kind of made up. Average Biden Trump voter. Yeah, exactly. I voted Romney, then Obama, then Biden, then Trump. I am the average American voter. I have a through line of principles that make sense. I just fill in the bubbles. How'd you vote, Romney then Obama? Obama ran twice. Oh, I voted Romney then Obama. You're right. Well, yeah, I only started voting in the Romney-Obama election, and then the next election I didn't understand how it worked, so I voted Obama again. But he couldn't even run. Probably helped. I didn't help Hillary. I'll tell you that. I started the steal. Yeah. Exactly. And in 2020, I voted for Biden 300 times in a swing state using a little bit of mail-in ballots trickery. So I've been involved, I was saying, in this great country's politics. I've been involved. I'm a proud patriot. Okay? I voted for Biden 300 times, and then I raided the Capitol on January 6th. Just because I think both sides have fun. Why do I have to pick a side? I want to write fake ballots. That's fun. I want to raid the Capitol. That's fun. Why do I have to fucking... Why do I have to choose? They try to make you choose, but the real truth is you can do both. I want to get in the mix. I'm bipartisan on fun. Me at like the Washington, D.C. worst fucking mixer of all time. Me trying to liven the mood at a fucking... Dude, my friend at the FTC was telling me. Did I tell you this? My friend who works at the FTC said he went to like a mixer with all of his coworkers after the election, and like Lena Khan was there and everything, and they were fucking depressed. It was like heads down, drinking, just. She was in like sweatpants and, oh man, dude. What is a mixer? Is that like a richer party? To be honest, yes. That's 100% what it is. A mixer is like a bougie corporate or political adjacent party, I guess. Yeah, that's what it is. Why did that party pay Ninja so much? Yeah. Corporate networking party. Jelly23's in chat. Guys, if you don't know this, Jelly23 edited this video.
Oh, I didn't know you were the almighty god of wizardry. It makes no sense. And you trying to defend it makes you a fool. Which means, canonically, can we talk about the Nagasaki? Agent 47 sleeps every wizard. Are you fit? Actually, are you actually sleeping? No, but the snitch is worth 150. Writing so many owls. The colors you bite your. So shut the up.
I mean, that's just a fire edit. Jelly did this out of nowhere, not even on my editing staff. Just out of nowhere, made this video and worked with me on it, and we uploaded it, and it like crushed. It did 600K. This video did 600K. It's bigger than a lot of Marketing Mondays. And all it is me rambling my Harry Potter for 20 minutes. And I literally think it's because, I think I have some heaters in here, but I think it's because it's fire intro and good editing. And so I remembered this recently. I saw this video. Someone in my real life told me this is their favorite video of mine. And I was like, what? And so I looked it up and I was like, wait, it did really well. I thought this video flopped because when it launched, it didn't do that well. Turns out it did not flop. And then I looked up who edited it and I was like, wait, Jelly, I haven't worked with her again. So I reached out and I was like, hey, we should do another video. You're fucking incredibly talented. And so I'm going to try and get another Jelly Classic on the channel. The trick is, as a content creator, is to always be scouting new editors so that you can fire your old ones or undercut them on pay. Do you understand? For example, Adish is getting paid way too much. So if you guys want to edit for a Clips channel, let me know. And that way I always have a backup so I can constantly... You can undercut Zero? Yeah, I try to get them to pay me. I try to get Adish to pay for the privilege. VIP Jelly? All right, I will. You edit that kind of video, you get 600K on the channel, you get VIP. VIP. How do I do this? I can warn you, but I can't VIP you. How do I do this? VIP. I did it. Atrioc invented paid internships? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Paid internships is funny. I mean, a paid internship is you getting paid. You're talking about ones where they have to pay. A paid internship is good. If you get paid to be an intern, that's awesome. That's elite. Because getting an internship is like the biggest predictor of getting a job. Atrioc invented money? I actually did. This is a while ago. I know I'm a little bit older than you guys, but this was back in like 3000 BC. And everyone was using stones and shells and shit to trade. And I had this idea, I had this fucking killer idea. Well, actually, they were just trading the goods. I'm sorry. They were trading the goods. And I had this fucking killer idea. I was like, dude, I want that cow, but I don't have anything to trade for it. I don't want to work. So I was like, what if I give him a bunch of these shells and tell him they're worth something? And he'll give me the cow. And the fucking idiot bought it. The fucking idiot bought it. And I walked away scot-free with a fucking whole cow. And he all had with these fucking shells I got on the ground. Later, I find out he called that shit money. And he kept the scam going with other people. This shit is crazy. I literally changed the course of the world. I gotta put my nose. 1 second. Ah. Da 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 da. I just pulled a $200 Pokemon card from a pack I got for my birthday. Do you think I should invest my entire $300,000 401k into Pokemon 151 SV packs? Or do you think I should diversify? If you extrapolate my one-of-one card pull to 300k of packs, I could be a millionaire. I've argued with my significant other for weeks now, but she doesn't seem to understand. Thanks in advance. You're thanking me in advance because you know I'm going to agree with you. Yes, you are the chosen one. You're the... How do you have 300k in your 401k? Adish, do you not know what a 401k is? Do you think that a 401k is every single person who has exactly $401,000? That once you have a 401k, they just give you $401,000? Because you're 100% correct. How does he have that? Hi, Maisie! Maisie! What's going on? What the fuck is going on, you crazy bitch? What's going on in your world? What's going on with fucking Linkus? What's going on in Texas? I'm sick as a dog, bitch. That sucks. That sucks. COVID? It's been going around. It's fake, but it's been going around. We got pneumonia? You both got pneumonia? How? What the fuck? Were you hiking in the snow? Was it because Linkus forced you to take economy and it was too cold back there? And he had a snug blanket up in first class? Is that how you got pneumonia? That sucks. We got it from friends we saw in DC, and I guess our lungs hate us. That sucks. Well, that sucks. That's not fun. Hopefully it goes away soon. Wishing you both the best. I wonder when I'll see you guys. Hopefully soon. Dude, if you guys were here, we would have double dated to see Gladiator 2. I'll tell you that right now. Hey, what if we do this? Maisie, what if you and Linkus go to a movie theater to see Gladiator 2 and me and Ari do it at the same time and we just loudly FaceTime each other in the theater? So, like, I'll get an iPad out and we'll put you guys right there and be like, oh my God, did you see that? And we'll turn the brightness way up. And then you guys can talk. Let's do it while we're sick so we can cough everywhere at the same time. That's good too. Yeah, you guys can constantly be coughing. And then if anyone else in the theater tells me to shh, I'll say, you hate fucking friendship? You hate friendship, you mean miser fuck? And I'll throw popcorn at him for the entire rest of the movie. That sounds good. That sounds like a really good idea. I actually don't. And then I'll write in a Reddit Am I the Asshole thread, but I'll phrase it in such a way where I seem like a good guy. I'll be like, hey, so I was recently going out with my friends to a movie, and I just wanted to see it and have fun. And one of my friends is currently disabled, essentially. They have a medical illness. And so I had to use technology to be able to see them. It's difficult, but it's like the only way we can keep our connection alive. And this mean-looking person just loudly yelled at me for no reason. NTA, oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you all agree. And if Atrioc says anything otherwise, I'll leave a very mean comment on his YouTube VOD. If Atrioc even slightly questions your story in any way, I'm going to loudly call him a fucking idiot who doesn't understand human relationships. That sounds good. That sounds like a good plan. This is what the YouTube comment war is about? No, the YouTube comment war is a brand new section designed to get Adish some money. Not really. That's really just to keep my Rocket Money contract thriving. But it'll be on the Clips channel, that's for sure. And it is a new Clips channel only video where I respond to YouTube comments. However, I didn't pick any YouTube comments yet. So I'm going to do this tomorrow. I might have to do this tomorrow. So why is it in the title? Well, I thought I might just jump in. I thought I might just click around some videos and see what makes me mad. But I think it's funnier if I find ones that actually make me mad and not just the stupid ones. You know? That's my problem. Pop-a-thon comments? No, it'll only be Clips channel VODs. The idea is that there's like, you know, every Clips channel video gets at least 150,000 people on it every day, which is fucking crazy. How many videos have we gone on the 150K streak? Let's see. One, oh, dude, I think you just broke it yesterday, Adish. Oh no. The Thanksgiving one's a flop era? Okay, before that, if you don't count yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 7, 68, 69, 70, 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80, 81, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 86 videos in a row broke 150K. The problem with the UK riots was our last flopski. So anyway, I mean, pretty fucking cool. And obviously on a regular stream, we have, you know, 3K, 4K, 2K, 3K, 4K, somewhere in that range. And so there's a lot of people here, but none of them get to ask any questions. Only chatters get to ask questions, but never the YouTube frogs. And there's a lot more of them. So I want to give them a chance. That was the whole idea of this pitch to Rocket Money. Is that I will answer YouTube comments instead of just chat questions. But I have to pick some, is the problem. You think this segment might create perverse incentives for YouTube comment section? I actually think it's the opposite. The incentive is to create here's the thing. It depends on what questions I answer. So if I answer the worst possible questions, then I'll get more comments like that. And if I answer a good question, I'll get more good questions. That's the facts. We'll just, you know, if you have a question that's like stupid or not related to the video, just put it on the last YouTube comment video. Bam, easy. You're seeking out ones that make you mad, though? All right, don't look too much into it. It'll work out fine. It'll work out fine. Let's not worry about my process. God, if you were a comment, you'd be rage baiting right now, and I would answer your question. It's all going to work out fine. Let's not fucking worry about it. It'll all work out fine. It'll be funny. Sometimes when I get rage baited, it's funny. Sometimes it's mad. Sometimes it's stupid. Well, it's all going to work out. Glizz on that thing. Now, there's a great comment. Let's read that. Let's not sweat the details when my boss tells me to never ask him a question. You either have a very chill boss or a terrible boss. It depends on the job. It's like, if you're a co-pilot, terrible boss. If you're like if you're like a cashier or something, it's nice that it just depends on the job. Yeah, if you're an anesthesiologist assistant. If you're a nurse, how many cc's of this drug, doctor? Just eyeball it. Just eyeball it. Anesthesiologists are chill as hell. They probably are. They get paid extraordinarily well and have relatively good work-life balance. Anesthesiologist is like one of the low-key hidden golden careers. They make insane money. They're relatively protected from competition because it's hard to get into. And they don't have crazy work-life balance problems. They are crushing. Anesthesiologists are one of the happiest professions. They can accidentally kill people. Yeah, but they don't care. It happens. You have to sign those waivers before you go under, and like they're protected. Unless they're killing more than the statistical number, they don't care. Noper's computer science. You think computer science is the chill, easy, go-to degree? Congratulations on inventing a time machine from 2014. Right now, it's fucking crazy. All the comp sci graduates are freaking the fuck out. They're depressed and fucking scared and can't find shit, and all comps are getting cut. Openings are closing down. Big tech is not the free gravy train it was before. Finding a job is fucking competitive and hard. ChatGPT is making even their average competition as good or better than them for a lot of positions. It's fucking crazy. It's plus they have they're scared of a fucking shower. They have a reputation as nerds, even though I think comp sci is like actually a pretty wide-ranging group of people. There's a reputation of a nerd. That's literally every industry. I promise you it isn't. Specifically, healthcare is the opposite. But obviously, I talk all the time about a downturn in white collar and other jobs that I continue to rise. But comp sci is like the forefront of that battlefield. There was the Berkeley comp sci professor. I wonder if I can find this quote. I'm a computer science professor at UC Berkeley. Tech jobs are drying up and graduates are no longer guaranteed a role. He says even his top tier graduates, like perfect GPA best students, are having trouble securing a role. From Berkeley. Look at this. Over the years, students I've worked with, taught, or known from other schools have typically had little trouble finding a job after graduating with a tech degree. There were lots of opportunities. Quite often, recent graduates would receive multiple offers and be left to try to decide between two really great choices. But now, things have changed. There's still demand for people, and some are still getting jobs, but not across the entire industry. Rather than getting 5 great offers, they might only get 1, or an offer from their second choice. This is not what we've seen in the past. So, this is real. This is very real. And he talks about UBI, which I just bought a book on because I want to understand more. I borrowed this book, actually. UBI. I'm going to read more about it. Because I really want to understand what experiments have been run and what truth there is to it, and what I support. I want to know what I support. I want to have a nuanced take. I don't have one currently. I just think it sounds cool. I support it because I want money. Based. Based. You know what that's called? It's called honesty politics, dude. You, as a voter and a citizen, demanding what you actually want, loudly and clearly. That makes it easier to form coalitions around things you actually want and then get elected officials that give you the things you actually want. No games here. Junior devs are using ChatGPT tools to apply to 1K jobs an hour. Yeah, I mean, I talked about this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. There's LinkedIn Easy Apply, lets you apply to fucking everything with an auto-generated, AI-generated resume and cover letter. I mean, there's a lot of fucking ways to just spam. Everyone's doing it, and so recruiters have never been more overwhelmed. And the companies are hiring freeze anyway. It's very hard if you don't know somebody at the company you're already trying to get to. Bro, no one reads the resume in CS. If you think your resume having Google software engineer on it or something doesn't instantly get you a better chance at an interview, you're fucking crazy. Yeah, they read it. Your experience will absolutely open a lot of doors that it wouldn't. Mine says Super Monkey Ball 2 Speedrunner on it right at the top. Bro, you're saying this is a joke? I unironically applied to Riot in college and had Diamond 1 Fizz main on my resume at the top. At the top. Absurd. Did it work? They offered me CEO, but I felt a little too underqualified, so I turned it down. So it worked, but like they didn't give me the job I wanted. They went they kind of leapfrogged me. Overqualified? Yeah, I felt overqualified. Brother, I have what you want, and I got a job. You're speaking like a caveman. Let me see if I can parse your story here. You're saying you went into the job. You said, I have what you want, and they gave you a job. That's brilliant. It's chatted. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. It's almost like you're trying to flirt. I have what you want. We could all learn a thing or two from Zach. 100%. Did you ever work with Figma? Can I say Figma balls, or is that too crass? Or is the woke... When is Trump in power? When can I say Figma balls, or is Biden going to crack down on me? No, I didn't work with Figma. I've told that story a couple times of my friend who was early stage Twitch, pre-Amazon, made a bunch of money when Amazon bought, then went to Figma early stage, made a bunch of money when Adobe bought. That guy's the GOAT. That guy's the GOAT. Bro, I bought a house and I feel like I made an oopsie. Feels like everything's gonna crumble in the next 6 months, and here I am a dummy with a mortgage. Nobody knows, right? I'll tell you that I'm of that opinion, that I feel like the housing market is clearly showing signs of weakness. Every day, more cities are now breaking their houses for sale pre-COVID average. Number of sales is still free falling. Like it's flat to down. Nobody wants a mortgage in this environment. But I'll say this, if you're planning on living there, it doesn't really matter, bro. If you were going to live there, if you bought the house because you wanted to flip it, then it's a problem. But if you have an area you like and you're going to live there 10 plus years, I wouldn't stress too much. I mean, you can always stress about something, but you consider yourself pretty lucky, I think. I mean, you're doing good. You got a house in America. But obviously it sucks. Yeah, for sure. But the mortgage will still be high now? Yeah, dude. But I assume when you bought it, you thought you were going to pay it. Right? The only scary thing would be is if you lost your... I mean, I'm not trying to worry you. I'm just telling you, like, what happened. If you bought at the peak of the market in 2007, what happened to you? Okay? Well, in 2008, your housing price went down and you lost your job. So you couldn't pay your mortgage and it was depressing. That's the bad possible outcome. Worst possible outcome, actually, is what I'll say. Let's be realistic and say that's not going to happen. Okay? Put the mortgage in the bag, little bro. What if an asteroid hits you? What if you buy the house and the second you walk out with the mortgage, an asteroid hits the house and blows it up, and you still owe the whole money of the mortgage, but there's no house there? That'd be pretty bad. If that doesn't happen to you, then you should consider yourself lucky. This guy said the same thing. Isn't the worst possible outcome that the house burns down, insurance denies the claim, and then he loses his job? Yeah, this could happen to you. And if it doesn't happen, you should be like, oh, wait, I should be thankful. I should be fucking thankful. By the way, what are you guys thankful for? It's Atrioc's giving. What are you thankful for? I made everyone at this table, I'm not joking. Where's my picture? I made everyone at this table go around the table and say something they're thankful for. Okay? It was a very lovely Thanksgiving. And I want to hear what you guys are thankful for. Thankful for your big bald head. It's funny that Ari got nervous giving her what I'm thankful for speech to this group. It's like her family and friends that she's known forever. I mean, these are her friends. Why is everyone wearing a hat? I obviously am always grustling, so I made them do a merch photo shoot. Where's the rest of the food? We hadn't brought it out yet. Everyone is balding. Do not say that my wife or her mother are balding. They're not, okay? Why the dog got the hat? I put it on. Did you make them buy the hats? I did. Well, it's a trick I do is I'll hand someone a hat and say, hey, can you take a photo for me? It's really fun. I take a photo and I go, hey, you scuffed this hat up a little bit when I hand it back. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, this is not the quality I gave it to you. I'm going to have to charge you for that. No, I know I feel bad about it, but just like you did kind of ruin my hat. And then I go around and get all their PayPal and I charge them all for the hat. And then the secret thing is I upcharge them. So I don't even charge them for what the hat costs. I charge them 3-4x that. I make out like a fucking bandit and they're making me food. They're cooking me food. It's actually pretty goated. $500 delivery. I'm thankful to live in America, land of the free, home of the brave. Oh, wait, speaking of that, I had something to do. wait, speaking of that, holy shit, I forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, there was big news today, not in America, land of the free, but instead in Australia, land of the jailed. Literally, I guess. Land of the jailed. You see, Australia, a country we all know for its weird animals and kangaroos and funny accents, recently decided they're going to crack down on social media for children. And in fact, anyone under 16 using social media will now be banned. This is a world first ban. I'm not kidding. This is a law. This is going to, I mean, this is passing. This law is passing. It's got overwhelming support. They are doing a under 16 total social media blanket crackdown. You cannot use it. These children will no longer be able to post funny Bluey memes on Instagram. This is an insane development. If you're in my chat right now and you're under 16, Twitch may be included and you can't use it. Their definitions are pretty broad for social media. So it'll be a total crackdown. This should roll out within 1 year. I mean, they're starting to work on it now. The law is passing. They're just deciding how to roll it out. The real question is, how do they do it? The real question is how they're going to actually enforce it. I'll talk about that in a second. I'll break down some of the examples of other countries that have tried something similar. But first thing I want to say is, why did they do this? If you're not familiar with the data, it's pretty clear that teenagers, especially teen girls, have seen a dramatic decrease in their quality of life since the rise of social media. They are more frequently depressed. They are more frequently considering self-harm, suicide, feel like they're bullied, etc., etc. This also applies to teen boys, just not as much. This is rate of teenage depression based on hours of social media usage. Even half an hour is already, girls are nearing 15% rate of depression. This is way higher than like a 7.5%, I believe it was, back pre-social media. At 5 hours, it gets absurd. I mean, if you're scrolling TikTok 5 hours a day, your odds of depression are nearing 50% as a girl. It's insane. So yeah, it's getting crazy. This is showing the spike. So right around here is when social media and smartphone use hit mainstream levels of adoption. 2010 was 50%, and it started to increase ever since then. Even among teen boys, we've seen a steady uptick in depression, all teens, and especially in teen girls. They already had higher natural rates, but it went way higher after social media. This, along with the fact that we've seen decreases in test scores, a loss of ability to focus. Anyway, all these things combined saying there's clear link between phones and social media and negative outcomes for teens. So that's why that's why they're going forward with this ban. That's the core goal. However, there are some downsides. Frankly, you won't get to see dope Australian TikToks like this.
Hey, how are you, mate?
Wait. Oh, by the way, this also perfectly describes why Australia might be the first one to ban it, because Australia has all of these problems with depression from social media, and they have this problem with their culture around depression.
Hey, how are you, mate?
I'm actually not doing too well at all.
Can't complain with this weather, can ya? Where the bloody hell are you, mate?
Terrible, mate. My bloody Hilux broke down.
Good on ya. Have a good one. You're not even fucking listening.
Yeah, how are you, mad Rooter?
Shit, actually. My life sucks. I hate my job. Mate.
So not only we're not going to get more great TikToks like that, that's the problem they're dealing with. So I wanted to look at where else this has been tried. That brings up Norway. Norway mentioned. If you're Norwegian, clap. I usually only mention you negatively because you guys have a bunch of oil money and you're rich and you have it easy. Norway is the easy mode country. It truly is like if there was a Dark Souls easy mode and life is Dark Souls, Norway is the magic spellcasting of the world, of being born. Okay? Anyway, this guy in Norway spearheaded a similar thing where they were earlier trying to ban people under 15 from using social media. Right now in Norway, it's banned under 13, and they tried to extend it to under 15. Now, the difference between this one and the Australian one is this one wasn't really ever enforced, and in fact is widely flouted. 72% of Norwegian 11-year-olds are on social media, so the law hasn't done anything. They don't enforce it at all. There's no fines for... people got around it very easily. The kids didn't care. The parents didn't care. So the law wasn't effective. And there's some signs that suggest that this Australian law might end up being the exact same way. Again, if they don't actually have a real method to hold these companies to account, then kids will obviously get around it so easily, and parents aren't good at keeping track or enforcing these things, obviously. So they asked an Australian kid what's going to happen, and this is what he had to say. Oh, unavailable? Wait, I can probably pull it up over here. Did they just block me on this? I just watched this. There it is. It opens with this kid for 18 seconds just scrolling his iPad. There's no sound. It's just this kid scrolling, dead focus for 18 seconds. But anyway, then it.
I'll be annoyed. Like, I'd like to keep using it. And I don't know, it'd be a weird feeling to not have it and be able to talk to all my friends at home. I'll find a way. And tell all my other friends.
So the kids don't seem to think it'll block them. And that is my gut reaction. There is a country that has been somewhat successful in doing crackdowns on things like gaming and certain parts of social media for the youth, and that's China. And our good friend Xi Jinping. China has been able to do this. However, it's had a couple of unintended consequences. The first one is that when they cracked down on gaming and basically made it so you cannot game more than an hour during a weekday between 7 or 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. at night, all that, they lost a bunch of world championships to Faker. The first and most negative aspect is they got no league grinders, and now they've gone like 3 years losing world championships to Korea, which can grind all the time. So there's also a downside. But the second thing is, I've seen, again, it's hard to get concrete data out of China, but a study I saw that tried to answer this question basically found out that, yes, they did reduce gaming time, but the students simply did other things on their screens. They didn't increase studying or increase going outside. They just found something else to do. They didn't reduce screen time. They just reduced gaming time. So in general, there's just so many addictive, fun things to do on screens that trying to ban just social media or whatever won't work. The one thing that has worked nearly universally in all of the studies where it's been tried is, and this is quite simple, but you know, people will hate, if you're in a school right now, you're going to hate this. It's banning phones at schools. This is like the number one, like proven dramatic benefit, easy to, once they ban phones at schools, that drastically increased their ability to focus in class. It reduced bullying. A lot. I mean, there was just many, many positive effects. And because they can actually enforce it, because the schools, I mean, if it's a well-run school, has the ability to enforce it. This worked. So it's interesting. I'm skeptical about this social media ban from Australia, but I'm glad they're doing it and not us, so we can see how it works. I'll be interested to see how Australia actually goes about it. Again, also, how do they enforce it? So what they're talking about, they haven't revealed their plan yet, but the idea is that they're going to put all of the onus on the companies. and basically say, if we find an under 16-year-old using social media, you get a fine, which is interesting. I think it's a pretty interesting way to do it, because it forces the companies to come up with methods that can track people or prevent them from using it. However, to actually work, that means they have to partner with the Australian government to get like actual tracking data on your ID and person and age and name. And so it's interesting. I'm not 100%. They're talking about digital ID. Exactly right. They're talking about digital ID that would like be tied to you one-to-one, which again, if used for a social media ban is one thing, but once it exists, can be used for all sorts of nefarious government purposes that I'm not super in love with. So it's a difficult problem to solve. I fully agree. And I would love to hear your thoughts, not only in the chat, but in the comments if we make a clip out of this. I want to hear your thoughts on like if you think this is based or whack, or if you want to try it in your own country or what. I generally think social media has been a fucking poison. 100%, especially for young people, of course. Plus, if I had fewer 14-year-olds on fucking Twitter, it might make the conversations better. Okay? It's a poison. But I'm always wary about giving government more wide-reaching tracking powers. To try and enforce it. I don't know about enforcement. So it's weird. It's a weird issue. Steam? I got an achievement, I think. I got an achievement, which is kind of cool for me. There was something I wanted to watch with you about it. Let me see if I have it pulled up here. This?
Is this a seismic precedent being set here, Peter?
Well, we have seen governments around the world struggle with this very
No, I heard this.
at a limit on how young kids could get on, but more than 70% of them figured out ways to get around it, around their parents and around the technology company.
No, it was like
It just seems like a lot of folks would say, wait a minute, the government.
Oh, I was like this, yeah.
So in Australia, I know Caroline was citing those statistics about the support for this, but I can't imagine that.
So I watched some Australian news on it, and this is, I want to say this. This is overwhelmingly popular in Australia. I think this needs to be said. This is not like the government forcing it through against the will of the people. The people want it. It's like 77% of Australians, when polled, want this ban on. Now, again, they don't poll people under 16 because they can't vote. So their opinion doesn't matter. Their thoughts on it don't matter. But of adults in the country Australia, they think it would be better for their country to have no kids on social media. And they almost universally think it. So this is going through. TikTok and Meta have both spoken out against it, obviously. For obvious reasons, they make money on it. So they've both been, trying to stop it and speak out against it or whatever. And they're going to try and drag their feet and say it can't be enforced. But it sounds like Australia's really, really gung-ho about this. Again, they're a world first. And if it goes well in Australia, it'll spread like wildfire. Because there's already a lot of crackling resentment and anger towards social media in like every country. I mean, it's been building up for years now. We are now like 14 years into the social media experiment, and generally most people have found it to be negative. Like there's some good for sure. There's some positive, but we're 14 years in, and on the whole, most people are like, this fucking sucks. Like it's caused more good than, or bad than good. So it'll be like, if there's any data this works, it's going to spread like wildfire.
Working here, it just seems like a lot of
Someone in chat says, I can't see it happen in America. This guy's going to make the exact same case right here. Let's hear him out.
folks would say, wait a minute, the government can't tell my kids what to do. It's up to me as a parent to decide, all that type of thing. But I guess Australia's gotten past that.
Question here. Yeah, I think the broader question here is whether this is going to go beyond Australia into places like the United States or into Europe.
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, again, I think it could happen in Europe easily. Europe is big on regulating big tech. In America, we don't like to regulate big tech anyway. And then secondly, we don't love to, parents want to tell their kid to do whatever they want. Here's the thing, though. it creates such a weird problem. I think it's going to have the same problem that China had, which is that as long as people have access to phones, trying to ban social media just means that teens are going to start hanging out in like the Venmo comment section or whatever. They'll play, you know, they'll be on Roblox room, whatever. They're going to find, Roblox general chat or whatever. If they're not on Facebook, all it's going to do, and I don't have a problem with this, is going to hurt the stock of Meta and TikTok and the big social media platforms, which is fine. Fuck them. That's cool. But it's not going to actually get kids not addicted to using their phones for social media, because as long as the phones are there, they're going to be addicted enough. Someone will fill the gap. Someone will find a way around this law. So I think the no phones in school is a better plan. And what's annoying to me is that the biggest people stopping the no phones in schools policy is parents who want to be able to access their kids at all time. And they always use the thing of like, what if there's a school shooting and I don't have a... But that's, to me, it's like, wow, we're so far gone as a country. If we know that this is causing teen depression and bullying and bad outcomes, but we're so sure there's going to be a school shooting in all of our schools that they have to have phones because of it. That's crazy. I mean, we're in too fucking deep, dude. That's so America pilled. If we can't fix that problem because of this other problem, so I'm not sure on that argument. I think no phones in schools is a good idea. I understand I'm no longer in school, so you can be like, well, shut the fuck up, Unc. I want a fucking text during this boring lecture. But I get it, bro. I think it's probably better for everyone's life. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts. I'm down to read some chatters messages, but also if you have leave it in the comment below. We'll talk about it. The top comment on YouTube is ban it worldwide for kids under 65. Yeah. It would be funny if social media was only for people over 65. Facebook wouldn't change at all. Facebook wouldn't even notice. It would be completely fucking unchanged. Same posts. What is this? You were around in my time when cell phones began appearing in school. They were kind of banned in class. Teachers would take them away. Yeah. I was around when cell phones started appearing in schools. That's correct. And by cell phones, I mean stone tablets. And we would chisel on them and the teacher would take them away and they would say, no, you need to listen to the verbal arguments. Yeah, but it was like T9 texting and stuff and they wouldn't take them away. I mean, maybe they would sometimes, but you could just hide them. We used phones in class all the time. It was just texting. I had my fucking Motorola Crazer. And my T-Mobile Sidekick, dude. We need to start seeing Cocomelon as legitimate child abuse. I understand what you're saying, and I understand you have a powerful point here. Are you implying that if a parent plays Cocomelon to their child, we should lock them up in a prison as if they abused the kid? You're saying that's the same level. They should be in prison next to a child abuser? What are you in for? I showed my kid Cocomelon for 15 minutes? We don't lock abusers up. No, what we do is we get mentally deranged YouTubers to beat them up on camera for free views. That's American justice. We get the scummiest fucking YouTubers in the world to be our own justice system to throw a watermelon at child abusers for content and then film it. That's good. We figured it out. We've solved the problem. Don't give Logan ideas. Hey, Atrioc, just to provide some context. I see your context here. I agree with this. I was going to mention this myself. The government of Australia is unpopular, as all incumbent governments are. And this is kind of an easy win. So this is one aspect of it is they're trying to get an easy win. Because a lot of people, it's very popular. And so they want to like get a slam dunk before elections. 100%. I agree with that for sure. However, at the end of the day, if something is broadly popular, the government doing it is just their job. It's like, I understand they should do other things, 100%, but like if 77% of people in Australia support it and they do that, that's not like, oh wow, they're just doing it for our votes. Yeah, that's the point. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point. The perspective I've seen among peers and Australian and tend to agree with is that regardless of your thoughts on the ban, it's a misguided and rushed through bill that fails to focus on the actual issues creating a mental health crisis among young people. Okay, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I don't even have a real stance on this yet. But what I want to tell you is this type of language is a great way to never do anything ever. People have figured out that if they say this type of sentence, it can apply to every law ever passed. And it just sort of causes things to float around in argument and never go anywhere at all times. So I just want you to know that you're doing that. This whole idea of, well, this doesn't really, there's a wider societal context that we have to, even if it's true, I find it to be pretty unproductive. Like, unless you have a concrete answer of what you would change and what makes it better, then I really don't like the idea of, well, this doesn't really, we need to think broad. We need to commission a study to, all that stuff is often used just to slow, and then nothing ever happens. You have to try something. That's why FDR was goated. That is one of the reasons I am a huge FDR fan, is that within 100 days of into office, they had signed a ton of new bills. They just tried things. They got a bunch of smart people. They thought about what would be best for Americans. They tried them. They moved quickly. They moved really quickly. And they worked really hard to break down roadblocks that slowed things down. And like when there was things that were constantly in the way, they like stood up and fought them. It was good. I'm the thing I'm most what's the word for in love with, but not in a romantic way for politicians? Enamored with? Enamored. The thing I'm most enamored with for politicians is pragmatism. Is like the ability to not be so ideologically set and just get things done. It's the thing I admire the most. I very, 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 very much admire it. I like pragmatists. It's a huge turn on. Yeah, I get real horny for it. I think pragmatic politicians are the GOAT. Even if they're not 100% aligned with me, I just think they actually do things. Sure, in terms of details, it's the inability of the government to recognize that cutting mental health funding, schools, and teaching while passing this, while also saying that looking into gambling advertising is too complex, let's rush through. Yeah, well, okay, let me break that down. Like, the gambling thing's a separate issue, and it's 100% a problem in Australia. It's terrible. But again, I just think it's tough to say. It's like, why are we even focusing on this when we can focus on this? I think, you have to judge this on its merits and think if it's a net good or a net bad. And if you think it's a net bad but is in the right direction, what would you change to make it better? And not focus on like all the million other things that could get fixed, because that'd always be a problem. That being said, if we're talking about Australia, I want to say that I agree with you. The bigger societal problem in Australia is that young people cannot afford houses. They can't get a good job to afford any kind of future. And there's a deep rot-infested gambling epidemic for the whole country. I want to say that I agree with you on all three of those. Those are the big core issues. However, the government may not ever fix those. You know, those things require you to speak truth to moneyed powers. Changing those laws require some wealthy people to lose, and that might not happen, or it'll be very difficult. So the real question is, can this problem be improved slightly? Can you make a difference with children in schools? I think it's worth trying. Why don't you ban social media but require teens to gamble? That would be the Australian solution. They would help out the pokies by making every Australian youth gamble young. If they're gambling, they won't be on a social... Yeah, exactly. Wait, what? Is this real? Apparently, this social media ban was going to include YouTube, but then the Wiggles lobbied to stop that? Who are the Wiggles? Is it the children's band? These the Wiggles? I thought it might have been like a rich family, like the the Wiggles family in Australia. They're very connected. You mean these Wiggles? No, I know these Wiggles. I'm just shocked that these Wiggles lobbied the government to keep YouTube unbanned for children. That's crazy. Yeah, I thought it might have been a political party or something, like the Whigs in America. Wow, that's crazy. Well, that's good. That's good, actually, because that means Australian children can still watch me. That's a win. That's a huge win. Oh, thank God. As long as the kids can still scroll my YouTube shorts and the Wiggles, they'll be fine. They'll be okay. Are they banning Twitch? I thought Twitch was included, but I don't know. It's pretty vague. It's pretty vague. They have not, they haven't announced how exactly it's being enforced and how exactly, which platforms are included. But it is going through. That's the crazy thing. It's going through. So we're going to see all this in real time. Were we talking about the Sony handheld? Ooh, should we? I don't actually know much about it. Let's look it up. All right, let's talk about it. While we're fucking here, little bit of setup. Little bit of setup. If you guys don't know, a few fucking years ago, Nintendo released the console you might know called the Switch. The Nintendo Switch. It looks like this. It was phenomenally successful. It sold 150 million copies. Is Nintendo's biggest success since, I don't know, since like the fucking NES days. Massive hit. Huge, put them back on top. And it was a risk. You know, when it first came out, it was considered a bit of a risk because it's not a high-powered console. It's mobile. It's portable. It turns out consumers love this shit, which is why Valve made a Steam Deck, which is also doing well. And now Xbox and Sony are both realizing they need to get on this game. So both Microsoft and Sony are releasing their own handheld consoles to try and get in on this, couch holding portable competitive world, which is now bringing back sort of a whole new handheld console war. And we don't know too much. We know it's been leaked that they're both working on one. We don't know much more than that, but it's pretty interesting. It's been 13 years since Sony's last portable console. I remember back when they were in the Game Boy war with the PSP. That was actually pretty advanced for its time. People loved it, but it did lose to the DS. PSP was ahead of its time, I will say that. But didn't have the games. Didn't have the games that DS had. The machine Sony's working on would play existing PS5 games. Yeesh. And likely could do cloud gaming. I don't know how good Sony's cloud gaming will be, but I do think the Xbox one's going to be all about cloud gaming. All of the new Xbox marketing has been about everything is an Xbox. I don't know if you've seen this. This is the idea. Everything's an Xbox. This is a bento box. This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox. The idea is that, Xbox doesn't even see themselves as a console anymore. They've lost the console war pretty much commandingly. I'll be honest, this console generation is shaping up to be more and more of a Microsoft L, especially given how much they spent on acquisitions. But they're pivoting into a cloud-based. They see themselves as the future of Netflix of gaming. They want consoles to be dead in general. They probably have one more generation where they have to make one, but they are really trying to get to a future where there is no console and everything is just a service, and Xbox becomes a service that everyone pays for their games. It's a smart, forward-thinking idea, but man, gamers seem to be really against it in general, especially when they're not subsidizing it. Again, Xbox Game Pass is great, but if they charged what it actually costs, like if they didn't run it at a loss, I think people would like it a lot less. I think they only like it because it's so subsidized. Like they throw so much money at it to make it's like early Netflix when it was like everything for free. I think a realistic Game Pass would be much less loved. But anyway, we'll see. That's the console war happening. I want to see if I can look at the Sony. I mean, do any of you have Steam Decks? Steam Decks I don't have one, but everyone I know that has one loves it. I don't know anyone that bought a Steam Deck and isn't like pretty positive on it. It is a Balatro machine for most people that I know. A big thing, we were working on this Get to Work game, and a big thing was making sure we could get it to run on Steam Decks, because like that's where people want to play games now, especially like an indie game. They want to play it on Steam Decks. Steam Deck is the best purchase I've ever made. That's pretty high praise. So anyway, yeah, Steam Deck's killing it and Switch is killing it. So Xbox and Sony won in. I wonder if they'll be successful though. I think the Sony one almost feels, I don't know. If it's just a PS5 portable, would you buy it? Is there enough PS5 games to not buy a Steam Deck? I don't think so. I don't think so, but maybe. And then Xbox, I could see it working because, maybe they just do Game Pass included. It's just it's a Game Pass machine. Portable Xbox. Let's see. Yeah. Microsoft expected to announce Xbox Portable. This is obviously a fan-made mock-up, but the idea of a portable Xbox with a Game Pass could be pretty popular. A good way to get, again, their whole goal is just more Game Pass subs, so this could be, why would it be red? Yeah, it's mocked. It's terrible. But I still feel like, yeah, Steam Deck clears. I feel like the thing is, the only thing that made PC gaming bad for most people was that it was complicated. You know, getting a PC set up is complicated. Getting a gaming PC is expensive or hard. Getting everything installed is more difficult or whatever. There's more technical errors. It's expensive and it's complicated and it's pricey. But a Steam Deck is just a console, but it plays PC games, which has always been the best part, is the huge library of games. So, I just don't see how these portables will be better. I just don't see how I think the Steam Deck, as it evolves, is just going to be what you want. If you're a hardcore gamer, and if you just want the Switch for Nintendo's charming games, you're not going to get those on Sony or Xbox either. Can the Steam Deck do Fortnite? That's a great question. I don't know. I assume you can run it like a PC and emulate or whatever, or like emulate, but like jailbreak it or something. Or no, it can't do Fortnite? Damn. Damn. Only if you install Windows. All right, so if you truly hack it, you can. But again, that's out of the realm of most people. That's interesting. That's interesting. Once Epic Games loses, like if Fortnite ever stops being relevant, they're fucked, dude, for all their extra shit. All their platforms and clout and argumentative power and like ability to have any muscle is like all around Fortnite. If Fortnite, they have the engine, but they can't threaten the engine on certain platforms. Otherwise, the developers will go somewhere else. They don't. If they break that neutrality, it'll people will run for the hills. Yes, they can. Okay, so you're telling me if Epic Games tried to threaten Steam by saying they wouldn't allow Unreal Engine games to run on Steam, that developers would just be fucking cool with it? Fucking dumbass. No, they're not going to break that. They're 100%. They'll fuck up the whole business. Yeah, Unity tried something way smaller and fucking got a revolt. That would be unreal of them to do. Unreal 5 has no equivalent. You know, a lot of games switch to Unreal. It's been all right. It's been fine. It's like very technically nice. I don't know. It's no, technically nice as in looks good, not run smooth. As in like it's like cutting edge in how it looks. Not necessarily how it runs. Obviously it's easier when you have a fucking $5,000 PC. Yeah, fidelity's good. Hey, Big A, I heard a rumor that legendary basketball player LeBron James is releasing a handheld console exclusively for Fortnite and 2K. I heard that too. I heard that LeBron is announcing the LeBlonsole, and it's a console that looks like a basketball, but it's got handle on the side and a screen in it, and it plays 2K and Roblox and Fortnite. And you can also play basketball with it. Yeah, you can fold it up and actually it bounces like you can throw it into a hoop. It's an actual basketball. So like it's gonna get kids active. It has 2K, but you can only play as Bronny. LeBronsole, yeah. The LeBronsole. What did you say you were thankful for? I said at Thanksgiving yesterday, I said I was thankful for my chat. I looked around at my family and friends and said, I'm really thankful for my audience and for those that watch me online. People that leave comments on the YouTube videos and subscribe. I said I really am thankful for most people that check to see if they have Twitch Prime and they click it beneath the stream to support the channel. It costs you nothing and only takes the money out of Jeff Bezos' pocket and gives it to me. And everyone teared up. People were getting misty-eyed. Thank you, Andrew HB, for the sub. It was a really powerful speech. It was a really powerful speech. Thank you, Tyler MD, for the Prime. Thank you, Marauder Twitch, for the gifted. No, I said some corny shit about how I'm super duper thankful for Ari's family for being so welcoming to me. I feel like it's my own family. And it was a very lovely Thanksgiving and how much they've helped us as we've moved to LA and got adjusted. And then I thanked her friends for coming because she had 2 friends that didn't have anyone else to go for Thanksgiving and they came and stayed with us, which was really nice. And then I said that I said, me gusta mi familia, and everyone clapped because I was a true Latino. And I put on a sombrero and I fit right in. Dude, it's actually, I didn't say that shit. I didn't say that last shit, but I will say it's funny. Ari's dad is such just an old school Latino dude. All he does when he's not working is he sits down on our couch and puts ranchero music on the TV, like YouTube videos of ranchero music. And then he sits there with a beer and watches it while sipping. He's just staring. He just stares at the screen of them playing their ranchero music, and he just sips it, and it's in the dark. He's in the dark. The room is dark. He does this, I'm not kidding, all the time. All the time. I would be so bored. It's an aura. And he's not like 1,000-yard staring. He's having a good time. He's not like, oh, the world. You know, he's in a good mood. If I went and said, hey, hola, senor, and I talked to him, he would be happy. That's what he enjoys doing. It's crazy. It's adult cocoa melon. It is. It's adult cocoa melon. Holy moly. That is what it is. He loves it. Dude, same thing as that video where the kids came running when they heard the song. If he was in a different room and I put on ranchero music on the TV, I bet he would come out. He would hear it. Anyway, chat, speaking of that, I think it's time for me to end. What time is it? We could watch a video. Is there any interesting video to watch? I can't watch a house tonight. But I could watch a video if there's something we could learn. I'll tell you what I'm going to watch the second I go offline. And that is Mango Fish versus Fizz versus Gangplank 1v5 carry best Fizz guide China. I'm going to watch this whole thing. It has 24 views. I'm probably going to watch that. Watch it with us. I don't think you guys would enjoy it the way I enjoy it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see if there's anything that I thought I had a video I really wanted to watch with chat. Sometimes I save videos to watch with chat. Oh, how about this one? How about this one? Oh, wait. Watch this. All right, this one is how Honda is trying to be cool again And it's like, why do they need to be? I'm a Honda driver. They're already cool. What the hell? What could be uncool about Honda when a cool guy like me drives a Honda Fit?
Toyota may be the biggest automaker in the world, but a smaller rival and sometimes partner has at times generated more buzz. Honda. A company that got its start putting engines on bicycles became the biggest engine maker in the world.
Beast.
Today, it makes nearly every kind.
I want to say I'm biased going into this. I fucking love Honda. I'm a Honda hog. And I line up at the trough every day. And whatever slop they pour in, I slop it right up. Okay, I love Honda. So I'm going to be fair and balanced, but I want you to know that going in.
It has sold over 400 million motorcycles, supplied some of the most successful Formula One racing teams, and made sports cars that have rocked the automotive world. For a generation of fans, it was one of the most innovative and interesting.
I don't call it Christmas, I call it Happy Honda Days. Based, brother. Based. If you said it to me in person, I'd give you a hug. And that's a fact.
Companies in the heyday of Japanese sports cars.
I remember the 80s and the 90s when Honda was really on top, and it was really an exciting company.
But today, it confronts a totally different industry, one where tech is changing and new powers are rising. The engines that Honda built, perhaps better than anyone else, are losing favor.
Shit.
Is Honda walking away from one of their most appealing traits to benefit the brand or not? We're going to find out the answer to that one way or another.
It's doing very badly in China, and it's not so far.
Everyone's doing badly in China because the Chinese citizen doesn't want to buy a foreign vehicle that's worse made, more expensive, and non-electric. Everyone's doing bad in China, dude. They're not buying Japanese cars. They're not buying German cars. They're definitely not buying American cars. That's just a fucking fact of it. Do you guys know? Not to... Well, actually, I will toot my own horn. I saw this graph today. I know I've got it somewhere. Well, if I take more than 30 seconds to find it, then I won't show it to you. Because it's going to be... Oh, I found it. Nice. Bro, I have a screenshot that I've shown on stream of me in 2019 saying that in 5 years, China is going to be the dominant name in electric vehicles. 2019, I said the second Tesla opened a Shanghai factory, it was over. I said it's a Ludwig and stands. I screenshotted it. I showed it on stream. Fucking, we are 5 years later. BYD just passed Tesla. #1 car manufacturer in EVs in the world. By 2020, by 2021, they passed South Korea. 2020, they passed America. 2021, they passed South Korea. By 2023, they passed Mexico, Germany, and Japan. And now they're bigger than like a lot of these combined, or like Japan plus US. They are exporting cars all over the world. If you live in a global South country, you're noticing way more Chinese EVs every day. They're popping up all over. This is an ultimate call. Now, I did make one mistake in 2019. I saw this coming and I said, you know what I'm going to bet on? The company I think looks the coolest. And I picked NIO, which was really fucking dumb. I should have just bought a fucking ETF or picked BYD because they had Chinese government connections. But I still got the fucking trend right. I just want to admit both sides here. It was a bit of hubris that I've learned from. I learned a lesson from. But it's still a good call. Oh, dude, I gotta blow my nose again. I'm sorry. It gets stuffed up when I talk. Yepsy. I'm not itching for a fit. Can you imagine? How do you think a human being would survive if I did as much coke as you guys said? Every time I go off screen, I'm doing a bump of coke. Do you understand how fucking ripped up my nostrils would be, I would be fucking just dead. XQC does it? Well, he's a beast.
Are making the transition to electric vehicles quickly enough.
And it's hard to kind of figure out what Honda offers that a Mazda isn't going to offer you, or a Toyota's not going to offer you, or a
fucking
Hyundai's
Mazda?
So now, the company has a plan to carry it forward, but it could be a hard slog for even a legendary name.
Honda marketing executive, if you're watching this video because you're stumbling for ideas late at night and you're searching the word Honda on YouTube and just trying to figure it out, if you're watching this, pay me money. I swear to God, we'll make Honda cool again. I'll get you in the right rooms with the right streamers, all right? We'll do it. I would love to work with Honda. Easy. This is easy. This is an easy win. It's a slam dunk, bro. Make Honda cool again. We're going to make red hats.
Honda sells about 4 million vehicles globally, making it the 7th largest automaker in the world. But what many may not know is that it makes a whole lot of other things. For the fiscal year ending March 31st, the company sold 26.74 million units of cars, motorcycles.
How do you know it's cool? I'll tell you exactly what I would do. How would I do this? I wouldn't get Kai Cenat to do a Honda ad. I would get him to do another car company ad and then walk off set of that and get into a Honda, and we film that. So it becomes rebellious. That would be a fire fucking idea. I swear to God, that would fucking move units. Get a Dutch angle in there or something? You gave an executive idea at Honda for free. You can't execute it, Honda executive. Bring me in. The small consulting fee you'll pay me will be more than worth it by clean, crisp execution.
Planes, boats, generators, yard equipment, and so on. The vast majority of these products come equipped with engines, and that, in many ways, is what Honda is really best at. Perhaps even the best in the world.
Some will say that Honda is an engine company beyond all else. Not really even a car company, but an engine company, and making just stellar engines. But really, I think they're a powertrain company.
Honda founder Soichiro Honda made the company's first product by attaching an engine to a bicycle. The other characteristic that defined Honda was Soichiro's passion for motorsports, racing specifically. About 12 years after it made its first engines, Honda began building Japan's first fully paved...
Dude, isn't it a crazy coincidence that the dude that founded Honda just happened to have the last name Honda? Isn't that... It's like he was born for the job. Isn't that fucking crazy how the world works like that? You just can't... Life's wild, dude. Life's a fucking... It's kind of... It's just really... The odds are insane.
Full-scale racetrack. It also entered the Isle of Man TT, one of the most famous and dangerous motorcycle races in the world. By 1961, it dominated the race, sweeping the top spots. And
do you ever think it's crazy how Lou Gehrig died of Lou Gehrig's disease? It was his curse. It was his curse from birth. That is tragic, dude. It's like that snail that's coming for you and you can never run for it or hide from it. It always catches you. It's like he couldn't get away. It's fucked up.
In two different classes. The motorcycle wins kept coming. Honda was racing cars almost as soon as it began making them. Just 1 year after it had debuted its first concept, it was already entering Formula One. The year after that, it won an F1 race in Mexico. Its engines have powered many winning drivers and teams, including Ayrton Senna, Jenson Button, and Max Verstappen. Soichiro Honda's idea was that the tight constraints and extreme competition of racing would forge superior engineers. Honda engineers produced crazy, wild, and influential inventions. They came up with technologies like Wtih that extracted more horsepower out of small engines without the need for turbochargers.
When you look at the cars that Honda was producing,
Honda engineering,
in the 90s,
baby.
They were so ahead of their time. The precision, the enjoyment. I mean, if you've driven a stick shift variable valve timing engine, the Wtih that they had.
Bro, it's so funny. I'm just not a car guy. But I'm almost jealous of the way car guys talk about cars. They get such a longing. It makes them so happy. All the little details, they fucking love it. They love it. I wish you nothing but the best, King. I'm happy for you.
It was like nothing else. No other vehicle could kind of match that in terms of that precision.
A few models have been especially iconic. The 80s and 90s were a kind of golden age for Japanese sports cars, with Honda right at the center. The Honda S2000, a four-cylinder, two-seat roadster, became a collector's favorite. The 2009 S2000 CR, a top trim level, was originally priced at about $39,000. In 2022, one was auctioned off with 123 miles for $200,000.
Wow.
Even base.
Are you telling me old Hondas are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Guaranteed, doesn't matter what they are? Like, I could sell my beat-up Honda Fit right now for at least $300K for someone in chat. Authentic, used Honda Fit. It has some scratches. It has some dings. One of the mirrors a little bit busted. Why is it so beat up? I never get anything fixed in that car because living in LA, having a beat-up car is such an advantage. If you need to park in a tight space, you're not worried. If you want to park somewhere late at night in a bad part of town, you don't get your fucking windows broken and your car robbed. You just are less worried in traffic while all the other fucking shit drivers. It's awesome. It's such a relief. So I love it, but it hurts the resale value, I assume.
S2000s have sold in recent years for far more than their original MSRP.
There was competitors that rode better, that were...
Chaz, the collective can buy it. All right, chat, you all pool your money. You give me $300,000. I'll give you the car, and you guys split it on, I guess, different days of the week. Is that a deal? All right, well, that's a deal. Someone called Sundays and Tuesdays. You better get in there. Holy shit, thank you for the gifties. You get first ride. Holy shit. $50 gifties. Wait, I need to find the person's name so that I can thank them. But the activity feed is not opening up. Twitch. Oh, Taco Noodle 98. Thank you for the 50 gifties. Very kind of you. And you said you're going to buy the car. Okay. All right, it's yours. Thank you for the 50. You now are the legal owner of my car. You have to share it with all of chat, though.
Quieter, that were roomier. It was just this powertrain that was just so incredible that you were okay forgiving everything else because it just made the car so enjoyable to drive. I mean, they captured the enthusiast market. Absolutely. I mean, there was, this whole import scene that almost stemmed from, people modifying their Civics and their Acura Integras that just no one else, you look at Mazda, who has always been sporty, never took off like that as the Hondas did.
Perhaps the most famous of Honda's high-performance cars was the Honda NSX, branded as an Acura in some markets. A supercar many would say better built than a lot of the big names for a fraction of the price.
It essentially reset the bar for performance in a category that most people would have never even thought Honda could, let alone would, compete in.
Beast.
The Acura NSX. It's what happens when you chase a dream instead of the competition.
I always joked, I said, you could almost hear frustration in the engineering rooms across Europe. We got to go back to the drawing board and start all over again. They had not been challenged like that in decades. And then all of a sudden, they had to all go back and reevaluate what it took to produce a capable sports car, because the NSX kind of blew up everything they'd made up until.
Dude, why don't they do that anymore? This is when Japanese cars started winning, European and American car manufacturers, I mean, they did do some racist shit for sure to try and stop it down. But they also went back to the drawing board to improve their own cars. And now, as Chinese cars come in, option one is beg the government for tariffs. Just beg the government for tariffs. We can't have this competition in here. We can't improve our vehicle to match.
That point, the Acura NSX, which was really kind of the post.
Yeah, batteries are part. I want to be fair here. Batteries are part of it. The supply chain for batteries in China is just so much better, and batteries are a huge part of the cost of the car. So even if they were to get their designs and stuff up to par, but it just strikes me the wrong way that we as citizens are denied better options.
Poster child for really what Honda could produce. Absolutely amazing. No one else really could touch them.
It was this engineering and skill, along with reasonable prices and a reputation for reliability, that propelled Honda. Production peaked at 5.4 million cars in 2018. As of 2023, the Honda CR-V was the 5th best-selling car in the US and the 3rd globally. 4 of the world's 25 best-selling vehicles were Hondas.
Sheesh!
In 2024, Honda was polled as the 7th most recognizable brand.
Wait,
If
really?
you look at Car and Driver and Motor Trend and all these.
Damn, that's incredible. No, Honda above Apple? This is a fucking stupid study. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, but most visible must have some kind of definition that I'm not. NVIDIA number 1? That's just good marketing. This is actually a great study. The marketers of NVIDIA are world class. It's the best of the best of the best in the world, and they get to rank 1. What's 3M? They make Post-its and a million other things. They make pens and Post-its and fucking heavy machinery, I think, as well. Honda being with Apple really doesn't sit well. And Sony at 4? What is it, the 90s? Sony was a top 5 brand in the world, but that fell off pretty hard over the past 15 years. PlayStation is still big, but I would say that PlayStation brand is bigger than Sony.
These mainstream auto magazines, they've always ranked their cars very highly, often higher than Toyota or at least equal. So I think engines are the heart of it, but it's not just that. They have good transmissions, they have good handling, they produce good cars overall.
It's a good car.
I think in the American market, which is probably their most important market from an auto perspective, they're a company with excellent brand equity, particularly on the Honda side, known for high quality, reliability, and good fuel economy. And names like Accord, Civic, Pilot, and of course CR-V have done very well.
2023, as it was for many others, was a year of record profits. Despite this, Honda faces a suite of challenges.
So I would say Honda is really kind of, over the last couple of decades, is kind of searching to kind of...
It's just an ad for Honda. I think the first half is all complimentary about Honda, and now it's getting to the parts where it's like, oh, shit's problematic.
And find themselves.
In 2017, Honda's CEO admitted the company lost its mojo. At the time, it was burdened by a spate of large recalls and a drastic drop in key industry rankings, such as J.D. Power's initial quality study. Management realized the company had been trying too hard to compete with bigger Japanese rival Toyota rather than focus on the R&D that made Honda great. In 2024, some of Honda's biggest worries are rather new. China, once a cash cow for global automakers, has become a much tougher market, especially for foreign brands. But about a third of Honda's total volume is threatened. So far in 2024, sales in the country have dropped by nearly 30%.
Sales are cratering in China. They've been forced to close factories.
Other troubles are similar to those Honda battled nearly a decade ago. Recalls, for example, including one for 1.7 million vehicles over steering.
The same thing's happened to all the German companies. They just, everyone in Germany thought China would always be their little bro. I'm reading this in Kaput right now, the book. All the German car engineers thought, yeah, the Chinese economy will get good, but not too good. It'll get good enough to buy our cars, but never good enough to compete against us on cars. They literally just thought that. They thought they would be little bro forever. And while they were little bro, it was so good. Germany could just make these cars and sell them to China and make a ton of fucking money, and they love their brands. And now that China's becoming big bro, they don't know what to fucking do. They're now they're screwed. What book? Kaput. Kaput. It's by Wolfgang Munchau. Very German name. About all of the problems facing Germany right now. Germany has had so many missteps over the past, you could say decades, but let's say 15 years. They've gotten so many big questions about the future wrong, I guess. And it's now all hitting at once. And it's fucking over average Germans.
Perhaps its biggest challenge is still recapturing that engineering mojo executives were talking about in 2017 and finding ways to stand out in a crowded and competitive field.
When it comes to just the most reliable, kind of conservative, vehicles, that's Toyota. Toyota owns that. Now, when it comes to, we want to make reliable vehicles and they're responsible, but also kind of like stylish and whatnot, we've got Hyundai, really a serious competitor in
Hyundai
there.
like
So I think it's been really kind of hard for Honda to really figure out who they are.
What
Hyundai has I might be wrong. I'm not good with car brand names. My understanding is, if you want to get an EV in America and you don't want to buy a Tesla, likely because you just don't fuck with Elon Musk, you buy the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or 6. That's the only one being sold. It's like way bigger than everything else that's not Tesla. In terms of sales figures, I think the Ioniq is like way above. It's a big drop off for everything else. That's my understanding, but I'm not super up to date. I need to check. VW has one too. Yeah, but I don't think people are buying the VW one at the degree. Again, EVs aren't selling particularly well in America, especially if you don't count Tesla. Tesla's the only one where cars are up at the big top. Hey, Atrioc, my dog won't eat his dog food. I want to wet it, but he won't eat it. You should pre-chew it. That's what I do for my dog. Just take the food and chew it right on up and then spit it into their bowl and then bam, wham, bam, they'll eat it right up. Yeah, you mama bird it. That's called being a good pet owner, all right? If you can't do the responsibility, don't get a pet.
What I think was Honda's really
Actually, someone in chat said just eat it so they get FOMO. That actually works. I don't actually eat the dog food, but if Maya is like not eating her food and I grab a piece and I go, and I toss it back in, she'll eat. She'll fucking eat insta. That 100% works. Lies, you love it. Well, obviously I eat a little bit,
unique characteristic for years, decades, was what I call the FTD, the fun to drive factor. And now you drive a modern Toyota and you drive it back to back with the equivalent Honda model, and it's like, these things are about the same. It's pretty much a razor thin advantage now. And so that's hurt Honda's kind of one strong, consistent claim that I think it had for decades on Toyota.
Acura, I think it's a good brand, a good product, but I think it's been a bit more stuck in the mud of you're not quite luxury, but you're not really volume or mass market either.
I felt like Acura was supposed to be kind of the more driver-oriented brand for Honda, and the more kind of...
Yeah, I mean, that upper middle class, what you might call the target, the target of a product, all that shit's been suffering, bro. Economy changing. People are going down, they're trading down and going for more affordable, or they're hitting it big in the stock market and going up. And taking on debt or whatever. But that like mid-level luxury is getting hammered.
Personality driven. And I think that worked to some extent, but I think one of the problems is that there just wasn't enough differentiation.
What are the Xi Jinping books you're reading? I'm reading Other Rivers. It's a book about a guy that taught in China for about 10 years, a long time ago. Like right after they started to, not open up the world, but in their boom in like the 90s and early 2000s. And then he taught again recently, post Xi Jinping, like in 2016, through COVID. And so he talks about the differences in the youth in China and what he's seen. It's very interesting. And then the other book I'm reading is called On Xi Jinping, and it's by a former Australian prime minister. I believe his name is Kevin Rudd. Could be wrong. And he just fucking loves Xi Jinping. And he worked with him as the Australian PM, so he knew a lot. And he's like done a whole fucking thesis on it. And it's pretty fascinating.
In an era where all eyes are turning toward EVs, it does less good to...
Why are cars so big these days? I don't know about the rest of the world, but in America, there's a constant arms race to not die on the highway. And everybody in America wants to be one layer bigger and safer because they know that if they're in a tiny car and they get hit by your fucking Cybertruck, they're flattened and they're dead. So they're constantly trying to get bulked up so that they can survive sandwiched between these other fucking cars on the road.
To be one of the world's best makers of something the world wants less and less of.
Now, the problem with Honda is that these incredible manual transmissions that were so smooth and enjoyable to drive, well, not many people are buying manual transmissions anymore. And when you look at these incredibly efficient, high-revving engines that were very reliable, well, look what's going on in terms of powertrain.
How much more efficiency can you get out of an ICE vehicle? These are very marginal improvements. So you have to meet current demand, which means you have to keep investing, but you can't really anticipate major advances in productivity or function. So that's a real burden for everybody, including for Honda. But if your big strength is engines, then that is a bit daunting.
It seems kind of tragic for what many consider to be one of the best engine builders on the planet and one of the best engineering companies on the planet to walk away from...
Just because you're an engineer doesn't mean you only have to make engines. Do they not know that? Do they think because it's called engineer, they have to just do one thing? You can make other things. You can work on other parts of the car. Did I just do a breakthrough for fucking Honda? Proof? Fuck. A source, I made it up.
What is such a strong identity for Honda and an appealing identity for Honda. And I think maybe the leadership thinks this is like the only choice they've got.
In EVs, it's trailing rivals. It was an early innovator, releasing an EV in 1988. In 2017, it came out with an electric version of its Clarity sedan, but that model could only get 89 miles on a charge and was only available in California and Oregon. For comparison, the Tesla Model 3 had a range of 220 to 310 miles, depending on the trim. As of 2024, Honda sold 6 EV models around the world. The first was rolled out in...
Dude, I thought that meant they only sold 6 cars. I was going to be like, damn, you're cooked. It's over. Bro, I thought, oh, just give it up. Pack it up. 6 worldwide? No, it's not a business you're in. It's a hobby. Okay, six models.
China in 2022. Toyota takes and arguably deserves the credit for mainstreaming the hybrid vehicle, starting with its Prius. But Honda was technically the first company to introduce hybrids to North America, and it remains the second biggest seller of them today. Hybrid sales have been booming as of late.
Yeah.
The Toyota Honda camp believed that it would rely on.
Yeah, hybrid's based for America because we have to drive farther, and we have gas stations fucking everywhere, and we don't have chargers everywhere. So it's a win-win. You get both. It's just clearly more adaptable to our market.
On hybrid vehicles now and hydrogen
Why don't they just make a fucking really
in the
sick
future? Whereas the
fucking
Nissan Mitsubishi
hybrid
camp
vehicle?
believed that we were going to be able to make a straight transition to battery electric vehicles. That, as you know, has turned out to be a rather ambiguous outcome.
Honda wasn't really poised to go and jump into that area of electrification and technology because they were really this back to the basics, amazing high revving powertrain engines and great transmissions. And it just hasn't really translated because of how the market has moved.
But even if the world is somewhat going EV at some rate of speed, sometimes when everyone zigs, you want to be the one who zags. Maybe what you do is you keep producing really fuel-efficient engines and or hybrid drivetrains and offer that as an alternative to this EV direction. Because I still think there are plenty of consumers who are not ready to jump on the EV bandwagon, not ready today and may not be ready for another 10 or 15 years.
The company has relied on partnerships to catch up. Its first high-volume EV for the North American market, the Prologue, wasn't released until 2024. That product, along with a higher-end, similar SUV called the Acura ZDX, were built by General Motors on GM's...
Yeah, look away from chat for 2 seconds and look back, and someone in chat is saying, every single person on Earth should be given a nuke at birth. We're watching an EV video about Honda. What? How does that even come up? Why are you dropping that?
Ultium platform. Then the two companies broke up about a year and a half after partnering.
We should have nuclear cars? That would be based. You put a nuclear reactor in every car. And then everyone gets a bumper sticker that says, if you... If you rear-end me, we both fucking die, so think about it. Just think about it. And we get mutually assured destruction and everyone drives really safe. That'd be fucking sick. That'd be fucking sick.
Plan to make a cheaper EV altogether. Since then, Honda has thrown itself...
Yeah, and you can make a tiny car. You don't need a big car. If your Cybertruck touches my Honda Fit, we both die. And a picture of a mushroom cloud, and that's on the back of every car. That'd be fucking sick. That could lead to a better world.
Into more partnerships to develop EVs, software, and whatever else. There is a broad deal with Nissan and Mitsubishi. An alliance with Sony has produced a prototype of a very tech-heavy EV called the Afeela.
Sony is not the Sony of 25 years ago.
Nope.
Its brand is tarnished compared to Samsung and even to Chinese brands now. So they're not as glittering a partner as they would have been 15 years ago.
Yeah,
and again, they're moving
off.
too slowly. Nissan is not a strong partner, and Mitsubishi's even weaker. So is this going to be a help or a hindrance?
To be clear, Honda does have an in-house EV strategy. Its first of a new crop of models will be an Acura, which it will produce in Marysville, Ohio in late 2025. It also plans a line of EVs under the Honda name, the Zero Series. Production on the flagship model, the Saloon, is scheduled for its Ohio...
What the fuck is this? The Honda Saloon? Why is it called the Saloon, but... It looks weirdly retro-futuristic. It's so odd. I think it's really ugly, I'll be honest. It looks really ugly to me, but I
Flagship model, the Saloon, is scheduled for its Ohio factories in 2026. The Saloon does promise some true innovation. An ultra-thin battery pack and compact powertrain components, along with other features, give the car a low-slung design and a low center of gravity, which improve handling and performance, and while still giving a lot of interior room. Tech borrowed from Honda's F1 and hybrid programs reduce weight by about 100 kilograms. On the manufacturing side, Honda's investing $65 billion in electrification and software, up from an earlier $40 billion.
When are they just going to have you get into a car and there's no steering wheel, there's no dash or anything? It's just an Xbox controller. Just a fucking Xbox controller plugged in and you drive like that. Just WASD. Just a keyboard. WASD. You got to control with a Wii remote. Dude, what if it had tilt controls? If you want to drive your car, you have to lean the left. You have to turn left by leaning left. That'd be kind of fun because you get a strong core, you know? You're constantly...
commitment. In North America, the company and its joint venture partners are spending $11 billion to build up EV facilities in Ontario, Canada. In Ohio, Honda is spending $3.5 billion on a battery plant with partner LG Energy Solutions, with more to come. It's also forking over $700 million to retool 3 Ohio Honda plants for battery pack production
Let's
and
go,
EV
Honda!
assembly,
Invest in
and
America!
another $124 million is going to a testing facility with a wind tunnel for aerodynamics and noise reduction.
There's a lot going on with Honda on EVs now. If you were to look back a few years ago, you say, well, they started too late. And for a while, that looked bad. But then EV demand right now is...
Bro, the best time to start was 10 years ago. Second best time is today. Okay? They started. That's the important thing.
Has slowed considerably compared to a few years ago.
I don't think people quite acknowledge how rapidly prices are going down, charging speeds are improving, and range is extending. That's going to be a huge transformation. The EV revolution is coming. It's not coming quite as fast as people had hoped, but it is coming. So it's not clear to me that they can keep up with that.
Honda did not grant an interview to CNBC in time for this piece, but said that though it's committed to EVs, the
too busy working, Giga Chad. They don't have time for your fucking interviews, okay?
Balanced approach to offering ICE, hybrid electric, and battery electric vehicles is the strategy we have pursued from the start and reflects our view that this race is a marathon, not a sprint.
Sheesh! All right. I'll continue supporting Honda. I like their plans for the future. Chat, thanks for watching today. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we are doing a special segment called Atrioc versus YouTube and Get Smarter Saturdays. Bring your most hilarious... I want to watch some history videos if we can. Something funny and something where we really learn something about history. I want to learn about history. So if you have any good history YouTubers, bring them tomorrow. We're going to do some GSS, and we're going to do Atrioc versus YouTube comments where I read YouTube comments and give my response. Should be fun. Should be great. Big sevens. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Wait, is anyone live? Who can we raid? You know what we could... I mean, I talked with Slime today about his portfolio. But if I raid, you guys will be annoying. And then... we could raid Prezzo. Let's raid Prezzo. He's doing Pokemon Stadium 2. Or we could raid... Is EE live? I haven't raided EE in a long time. Oh, but he's doing like some kind of thing. We'll raid Prezzo. I'd raid Queso, but I feel like my chat is so big it would like overwhelm his stream. And his fans wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise. You know what I'm saying? I think it's not fair to his fans for us to overwhelm his content. Bye!